Skip Bertman, after a couple seasons of some injury problems, some physical problems with a shoulder and an elbow and a rib problem, has tried to protect him throughout this 1996 season.
And the infield for the Tigers of LSU. Furness at first. Second base has Morris, shortstop Williams, and Nathan Dunn, an excellent third baseman. In the outfield, Cooley, Kerner, and Bowles. Catching Laxton is Lanier.
Lanier known for his outstanding defensive work, but it was his bat that helped advance LSU in their victory over Wichita State. There's Skip Bertman, the coach. 8th College World Series appearance. We're set to play baseball as Florida comes in to hit, and David Eckstein takes the first pitch. That's in there for a strike. This game is underway. We have overcast skies in Omaha with the wind blowing out to right field to start play today. Eckstein takes it wide. Now the count is 1-1. 59 degrees as we start play, and that wind up to perhaps 15 miles per hour.
Dwayne, that's a lot of chill index at 59. Winds have been strong since the beginning of this College World Series, predominantly from left to right. We always talk about if the ball hit up in the air to right field with good backspin, it's got an excellent chance of going out.
Eckstein sends this one into right. Bowles back on the track already, and that one is gone. Eckstein got it up into that wind, and it sailed out of here for his 9th home run of the year. And Florida takes a 1-0 lead.
Dwayne, I don't usually project very well, but Eckstein must have heard what I was saying, because he took a pitch over the outside part of the plate, extended his arms, and got good backspin on that ball. Let's take a look where the pitch was. Fastball outside half. See him hit down through the ball, creating backspin, hitting it to right as that wind's blowing 12-15 miles per hour. And it's 1-0 Florida.
That's his 5th career leadoff home run. He's been the leadoff man for Florida the last 2 years, and he has them on the board to start this game. Now here's Mark Ellis, and he takes the pitch too low, ball 1.
In our meetings, I think, in discussing the game with Andy Lopez and his pitching and Skip Bertman and his pitching, we sense much more confidence in Laxton than Lopez has in Rodriguez. He's trying to get Rodriguez into the 5th inning today, where Bertman seems to feel that Laxton's progress means that he could go at least 6 or 7 good innings today.
He's behind Ellis, 2 balls and no strikes. This one is down. So the count is 3-0.
The only concern is Laxton is such a good competitor that early in a game, in a crucial game like this, he might overthrow just a little bit, and so far he has, keeping the ball 2 down.
And the strike, so the count goes to 3-1. Andy Lopez, success in a hurry at Florida, and unbeaten in College World Series competition, winning the title at Pepperdine in '92 with 4 wins, and a win already this year. And there's ball 4, so Ellis draws the walk. So the home run followed by the base on balls. Nobody out in the Florida first.
In this second game of this bracket, we've noticed that the pitchers have a little difficulty in throwing strikes in the first couple innings, and my philosophy is they have to get used to the mound, adjust to the pressure. But these two teams know each other very, very well, so they're not concerned about what to throw each other or what's coming.
Here's the freshman, Brad Wilkerson, and the pitch to him is in there for a strike. Wilkerson has done a little bit of everything for this club. The number 3 hitter, playing right field. He's hit home runs. He's made great catches. Worked out of the bullpen to close games for them. We saw all of that in their first game victory over Florida State.
With Laxton being right-handed and Wilkerson being left-handed, they'll try to pitch him away. They don't want to get the ball inside to him so he can pull it to right field.
Ellis, the base runner. He has 19 steals on the year. You see Furness holding him on, opening the right side of the infield for Wilkerson. There's a strike. Laxton has the jump on Wilkerson. A 2-strike count.
Both of these teams will be aggressive. That's their philosophy. They like to hit and run. They like to bunt. They like to squeeze. They like to put pressure on the defense.
And another move to first. Ellis back.
Playing from our center field camera today, we can really see the catchers shifting in and out, which will give us an idea of location. Several of these catchers really move out early and quickly. Take a look here, way outside.
The ground ball to short. Williams with a toss to Morris and over to first to turn the double play. Williams, Morris to Furness. So Wilkerson rolls into the double play.
They pitched him away, and it's your textbook 6 to 4 to 3 double play.
Started by the sure hands of Jason Williams at shortstop, who was charged with a couple errors against Wichita State. And said you have to go all the way back to his high school days, early in his career, to find a game in which he committed as many as 2 errors in one contest.
On much worse fields with probably a few rocks thrown in there too.
Chuck Hazard, the designated hitter. A ball to no strikes to count. Hazard with 16 home runs to lead the Gators in that category. He was fooled by that pitch. The count goes to 1-1.
That one pitch gives you an idea of the quality of Brett Laxton's breaking ball. Hazard, who is an excellent hitter, great power. Only problem is a little bit of a free swinger, not as disciplined at the plate. Was frozen by a good tight curveball.
Here's the 1-1. Too low. 2 balls and a strike. Home run by Eckstein and the walk to Ellis, but a double play ball off the bat of Wilkerson. Now Hazard batting with the bases empty and a 2-ball 1-strike count. Laxton misses for ball 3.
Except for the one pitch to Eckstein, Laxton has kept the ball down. One of the reasons for that 6-4-3 double play. Keeping it down against Hazard. Hazard likes the ball up. Big and strong from the waist up. Gets good extension on his bat.
Here's the 3-1. And this one is low and outside. Second walk of the inning. But they've been sandwiched around a double play ball. And John Tamargo is going to be the hitter. The LSU fans have been present and vocal here in Omaha, cheering for their Tigers. Now Tamargo. There's a strike. Tamargo, the son of former Major League catcher John Tamargo, and Brett Laxton, the son of former big leaguer Bill Laxton.
Good gene pool in this game today, Jim. Tamargo out of Tampa Chamberlain High School, my old alma mater. Gators have 3 players from Chamberlain.
A 1-strike count on Tamargo. He strokes it into left field. Chad Cooley is there to make the catch. And the Gators are retired in the first. But they pick up a run. A leadoff home run by David Eckstein, putting Florida out in front in the early stages of this game. As the Gators take the field, LSU coming in to hit. We'll take a look at Skip Berkman's lineup for the Tigers of LSU. Jason Williams will lead off and play shortstop. He'll be followed by the center fielder Mike Kerner. Nathan Dunn hitting third, playing third base. The first baseman Eddie Furness. Chad Cooley is in left. the designated hitter Brad Wilson. Justin Bowles is in right field batting 7th. The catcher Tim Lanier of Grand Slam note hits 8th, and Warren Morris, the second baseman, will bat 9th. And on the mound, Sergio Rodriguez, a freshman out of Miami.
Rodriguez 4-0 with an earned run average of 3.33 in 20 games. He's got a sinking fastball, a good change, and a curveball. Must keep the ball down against this heavy-hitting LSU Tiger team. And Andy Lopez said he's got to get 4 or 5 good innings out of this young man. And the defense behind Rodriguez: at first Duncan, at second base the home run hitter Eckstein, Tamargo at short, Ellis at third. In the outfield, Ogle, Chisholm, and Wilkerson. Catching Rodriguez today is Castaldo.
Rodriguez coming off a no decision his last time out. That was on the 25th of May against South Florida. It was a 6-4 Florida win, but he lasted just 2 outs into the 4th inning. Gave up 4 runs, 8 hits. But prior to that, he had beaten this LSU team going the distance, giving up just 2 runs on 7 hits.
We talked about 2 things can happen. Number one, Rodriguez can throw even slower and work on the frustration of the previous game in which he dominated LSU. Or LSU can say to itself, well, he's a sinker curveball pitcher. He's worked on our anxiety. Let's try to hit the ball up the middle or the other way and make the adjustment needed on a pitcher who throws the ball less than 80 miles per hour.
Randy Crystal, the veteran, calling the balls and strikes for this umpiring crew. And here's Jason Williams bouncing the first pitch to third for Mark Ellis, who makes the play across the diamond to Matt Duncan. So Williams, who had opened the game against Wichita State with a home run, jumps on the first pitch here from Rodriguez and bounces out third to first.
So much for the patience of the Tigers. Skip Bertman will tell you that his team needs to be patient today, because for the sinker ball pitcher, a la the Randy Jones and Tommy Johns, you've got to make sure the ball is up before you go after it.
First pitch to Mike Kerner. Too high, ball 1. Kerner hitting .313. He has 11 home runs. When you talk with Skip Bertman about this team and the talent compared to, say, the '93 title-winning team, this one is inside. 2 balls and no strikes. He thinks this team may have as much talent, maybe more. And he says their attention span might not be quite as good.
And Skip's honest with you. He'll tell you that, too, that his championship teams had focus for 9 innings, and this LSU team, well, they focus for 6, and then somehow, some way, they get distracted. And that says something for, I think, on-field leadership. The leaders on the field are the ones that keep the team focused, keep them concentrating.
A 3-ball, no strikeout to Kerner. And this one is upstairs for ball 4. So Kerner draws the walk.
Anybody thought that was a strike?
Kerner wasn't going to umpire. He didn't want to offend the veteran umpire Randy Crystal.
Rodriguez, not belt high across the plate. Umpire doesn't say anything. Hitter thinks it's a strike, but it's ball 4.
Now Nathan Dunn. Dunn with a good bat out of that third spot, hitting .361. Runner is back in. Kerner leads LSU in stolen bases, and Dunn up there with 21 home runs, tied for second on the team in home runs and runs batted in. Kerner back in once more.
Rodriguez does an excellent job of holding the runners on first base, and we'll note that he's got a closed stance when he's in the stretch, and that means for a sinker ball pitcher, it forces you to throw across your body and make the ball sink.
And he misses low. Castaldo calls time. That's 5 straight bad ones thrown by Rodriguez. He walked Kerner on 4 straight, now behind Dunn. Even though Florida has won 4 straight from LSU, Andy Lopez has a healthy respect for the ability of this LSU team to score runs. He doesn't want to get into a slugfest with this club.
And unfortunately, LSU does have more power, and one of the big power guys is Nathan Dunn.
He fouls this one down the third base side, and the count is 1-1. Williams grounded out. Kerner has walked. Dunn, 6-foot junior. And the power numbers. It works out to 127 home runs for the year. And again, the first. Rodriguez paying a lot of attention. And one of the reasons, Steve, he will do that and try to be conscious of base runners, it takes him a little while to get rid of the ball when he delivers.
He's much slower than you would anticipate, so he's got to freeze the runner with his movements.
It's going to be a foul ball. Just a piece, running the count to 1-2.
Take a look at the Florida dugouts. Players sitting on the bench, sitting back, absorbing the game. Crucial game for both teams. Getting 2-0 in the brackets puts you in the driver's seat. On the other side of the field, the LSU Tigers on the front steps, encouraging their offensive players.
Turner walk. Rodriguez continues to be very aware of him. He's gone over there 4 times now. He's ahead of Dunn. Dunn, an invitee, the Olympic trials. There's a little tap back to the mound. It plays at second out there. And a nice fly by Rodriguez to get the out on the lead runner. The shortstop Camargo taking the throw.
Excellent play by Rodriguez that time. Let's take a look at the delivery. Good sinker. Look at that ball come down. Rodriguez hops off the mound. Eyes focused. Castaldo yells second, second, and he makes a perfect throw and gets him there. The catcher is a quarterback in that situation, Blaine. He really has to let the pitcher know. The pitcher can't see, doesn't know where the runner is, so the catcher has a perfect view of the whole field.
And here is Eddie Furnace, the first baseman. He has been the big run producer out of the cleanup spot for the Tigers. 26 home runs, 102 runs batted in. An LSU home run record. He has power to all fields. And the pitch in there, a strike call.
And may I mention that .819 slugging percentage. Quite lofty.
First team All-American selection. Sophomore first baseman out of Nacogdoches, Texas. The SEC Player of the Year. Dunn might not have quite as much speed as Kerner, but he can still steal a base for you out of that third spot. At first base, reaching on the fielder's choice. A strike to count to Furnace. A 1-0 game as we play in the bottom of the first. The count will go to 1-1 on the LSU first baseman.
Nathan Dunn, nice stolen base percentage, 18 out of 20. Reason for that is he gets a good jump, has been a good student of pitchers and their moves.
So Rodriguez continues to be very aware of the base runners. The difference in the game, the home run by David Eckstein. This one upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Rodriguez also had a relief appearance earlier this year back in March against LSU and pitched 3 1/3 scoreless innings, giving them just 2 hits that time out. And a liner the other way, a base hit. Dunn will stop at second on the single by Furness. And the Tigers have men at first and second with 2 gone.
Let's take a look at why this man is the SEC Player of the Year. Takes a fastball on the outside corner. Steps right into it, hits down through the ball, hits a line shot to left. Excellent job of hitting the ball where it's pitched.
And Chad Cooley is going to be the hitter, the LSU left fielder. Cooley had a couple hits, 2 for 4 in the first game against Wichita State. 64 runs batted in for Cooley. This one caught the plate for a strike. Cooley in postseason play hitting .393 with 9 runs batted in. He has 2 men on with 2 men out in the bottom of the first inning. Rodriguez misses upstairs. It's 1-1.
LSU forcing Rodriguez to throw a lot of pitches this first inning, both good and bad. Tendency for a sinker ball pitcher as he starts to get tired to throw slower and make it sink more.
And a popper into short right. Wilkerson on the run is there to make the catch, and that retires the side. LSU will not score. They lead 2 at the end of 1. Florida 1 and LSU nothing. Stadium. See Florida knocking off Florida State. LSU a winner over Wichita State to advance. Later tonight on ESPN in the elimination round, it will be Florida State and Wichita State coming up at 7:30 tonight as ESPN's coverage continues from Omaha, Nebraska, the 1996 College World Series.
Young lady having a good time. The girls are having an outing today.
Eric Castaldo takes a strike from Brett Laxton. Castaldo out of Longwood, Florida, getting a chance to play every day in his senior year. Fouls this one. And he's down on the count, 0-2.
And Castaldo has really made the most of his senior year, Dwayne. He was a fellow that's hasn't played a whole lot the first 3 years of his career. Earned the job and has done wonderfully both defensively and offensively. Hits the ball where it's pitched. A good hit and run man for Andy Lopez.
The count's a ball and 2 strikes. He's a pre-med student. Takes this one down, and the count goes to 2-2. Andy Lopez looking on. Lopez says Castaldo, who's done so much of the catching, almost every inning it seems. There's a shot to right field. Bowles back in front of the track and now on the track to make the catch for the out. 1 gone in the second inning. Castaldo takes it the other way.
Dwayne will watch Castaldo swing. He chokes up a little bit, which means he's more of a line drive hitter. Good short swing, and this time he fights it off the other way. If he had a little longer swing, that ball might have gone out of here. As it was, it twisted Bowles around.
Here's Matt Duncan. Next one too high for a ball. Duncan, the first baseman, over 300 at 306. This is a tough play and out of the reach of Williams, just beneath his glove for a base hit. So Williams ranging to his right, and Duncan has a hit. Let's
take a look at Laxton, focused on the catcher's mitt. with a fastball. He just gets the head of the bat through there in a good location, right in the hole. Good fast infield here at Rosenblatt, nice and hard. Neutralizes the speed and quickness of infielders.
That's the second Florida hit. There's Chris Chisholm. And the pitch is down. Ball one.
You and I were talking before. We don't see a lot of three hoppers here at Rosenblatt.
That's right. Well, you know, a combination of that aluminum bat and, as you point out, the hard infield. Something as basic as a tarp will make a difference on the texture of that infield.
Even with a lot of rain here in Omaha over the last couple weeks, the infield nice and firm and hard. The grass is short. Aluminum bats, we see a lot of very hard hit balls here.
Florida with a first inning run on the Eckstein home run. Back to first, Duncan.
This is what Florida does best. They get a runner on. They make you worry about them. They have a contact hitter at the plate. Andy Lopez may get him running. They even have the guy dragged for a hit. A lot of pressure on the defense every inning.
Runners going on a hit and run, and a pitch is fouled. Chisholm fouled it up the left side. But you mentioned it early, the style of baseball for Florida. They like to put some pressure on the defense, be aggressive. We're likely to see that all game long, regardless of the situation. That's just their style of play.
And they call it California baseball a lot, which is interesting. You think baseball is the same all over, but in the Southeast, a lot of power baseball. Out in California, they do hit and run a lot. Move the runners along, sacrifice, squeeze, and work more game situations.
2-1 count.
Andy Lopez being from Cal State, Dominguez Hills, and Pepperdine.
Looks good.
Over to first. Back in there.
Chris Chisholm, good contact hitter. He can bunt, sacrifice, and very good speed.
And again over there, the runner is back. Laxton gave up the home run and a couple of walks in the first inning. Now the base hit with one out to Duncan. He made 19 pitches in the first inning alone. Time called. Chisholm stepping back as Laxton held the ball out there. Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled out of play. And the count squares out at 2-2. Laxton, who was the freshman sensation of the College World Series in 1993, making his fourth College World Series start today. It's the fourth of his career with one win and one loss. Chip Berkman tried to pitch him only once a week this year and bring him along slowly. His longest outing of the year, 6 innings. He worked 5 innings against Georgia Tech. And he won the championship game in the regional. Gave up a run, unearned, and walked 4. He didn't strike out anybody in that game.
Lopez just gave Chisholm the make sure it's a strike. Make sure it's in your zone. Catcher sets up way outside.
And the count is full, 3-2.
And in the type of game that Andy Lopez plays, better than a 50-50 chance, he'll send the runner now with 1 out. If you're a runner, you won't get too big a lead, but Wrigley goes.
He does not go, and this one goes beneath the glove of Furnace through into right field. Duncan is on his way to third. It will be first and third. Chisholm hanging on at first, even though the throw wound up going through to Dunn at third base.
Talked about Chisholm being a pesky hitter, a guy who really knows the strike zone. He worked Laxton to a 3-2 count, forced him to throw a strike, and then just turned on it. First baseman gets off. The ball's hit too hard. Doesn't come up. Stays down. And Eddie Furness short-armed that ball.
He'll be charged with an error. That's his 6th of the year. So a first and third with one out. And Brian Ogle, who's getting the start in left field today. He was a hero for Florida in the first game of the year played between these two teams. Nothing coming out of that. LSU took a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning at Gainesville, only to see Florida score 4 to tie it. And finally, Brian Ogle opened the bottom of the 16th with a home run to win that game for Florida. First pitch to him is a ball.
Now we've got some speed on the corners with Duncan and Chisholm. Don't be surprised if you see a squeeze even this early in the game. Florida likes to just one-run you. They'll take 9 one-run innings. They like to manufacture runs. They'll tell you they don't have a whole lot of power. Wilkerson, Hazard are the 2 big home run guys.
Back into first. Chisholm turned his ankle as he got back to the bag that time. He's aboard on the error.
The other option is Chisholm to take off and force a throw. Lanier.
Runner's going, and the pitch is fouled away. The count is 1-1.
That's what we're talking about. Lopez wanting to get things moving. Put pressure on the defense. Tough pitch for Ogle to put in play that time. Little up. Couldn't get on top of it.
That's one of the ways he'll make up for the lack of power compared to some of these other clubs he's meeting. LSU with 127 home runs. Florida hitting 66 home runs this year.
And they're both in the College World Series, having won the first game in a crucial second-round game.
High. Ogle had shortened on the bat. 2 balls and a strike.
Now, when you saw him shorten on the bat, you started to think sacrifice, but there are times when Lopez lets him bunt for a hit and have the third base runner make his own decision. Catcher sets up inside.
Again, Chisholm back in at first. There are times at the College World Series and in college baseball across the board that these coaches might do some things that would seem unorthodox in terms of the normal percentages. Into the dirt, and here's an alert base runner. Duncan headed to the plate. He will score. Duncan takes off on a throw to first into the dirt. Alert base running by Florida, and Duncan picks up the second run. An error charge to Laxton, costing LSU a run.
This is a ball in the dirt. Furness couldn't pick it up in time. And an alert run for Florida. It goes away. Even though he's left-handed, he tries to throw a strike, which he does. But Duncan, with good quickness, scores.
Now Chisholm still at first. 33 errors in the last 15 games for LSU. And that's something the aggressive boy. Another one he almost threw away, and Furness dug this one out.
The peskiness of Florida is shaking the confidence of Laxton at this point.
Laxton has made almost as many throws to first as he has pitches. There goes the runner. The pitch is a ball, and the throw is not in time. A stolen base for Chisholm. That's his 13th of the year.
Were you surprised? I wasn't.
No.
Simply because if you're keeping the pressure on the defense, let's see if he steals off the pitcher. He gets a decent jump, still has time to look back, and beats a good throw.
Now time call. The ball loose from the bullpen, rolling back to the plate. A lot of running in this College World Series so far. And a lot of success running. 19 out of 22.
And the reason for that success, good base runners who take the jump off the pitcher.
Fly ball to center. Turner in line to make the catch for the out. And holding at second is Chris Chisholm. 2 outs. It's a 2-0 ball game. And action in the bullpen for LSU. That's Joey Painich down there. Head junior out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We'll go back around to the top of the Florida lineup. David Eckstein. Eckstein opened this game with a home run, driving it out to right field. No ball and no strikes.
Eckstein, a .340 hitter. Took an outside pitch his first time up. Hit it into the right field bleachers. Looks hitterish up there.
And a popper back of first. Furness got a late start. Morris out there trying to cut in on the angle from second base, but they could not catch up with it. It's a foul ball. And the count is 1-1. Another run home for Florida in the second inning. Chisholm, the base runner, at second. One and one count. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And you can see how this game would set up as the pesky against the power. Florida forcing the issue at times. Trying to work the count against Laxton. The 1-2. It's foul up the right side.
Andy Lopez knows that he's got to put runners on each inning. He knows that LSU can make one swing of the bat and put runs on the board. That's why this is a fun game to watch, Dwayne, simply because of the 2 strategies of the team, and especially this man and his comeback. How far can he go?
That's too high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Oh, kid.
Eckstein. Not only has he been a good leadoff man, he's been a good RBI man for Andy Lopez.
He's got to fight the ball
runs batted in. There's a chop to third. Done. Waiting for that one. Has to get rid of it, but will not get there in time. And on the play over to third goes Chisholm. That speed of Eckstein. Dunn found himself waiting for that chopper. And there's the 100th hit of the year for David Eckstein. It wasn't as long as the first one, but he's aboard with a base hit.
This was an error of omission. He should have charged this ball knowing the speed. He let it play him and then just couldn't throw him out with the runner advancing to third base. Let's take it again. You've got to charge the ball with a runner with that kind of speed.
So the inning continues for Florida. First and third, and this gives Mark Ellis a chance. Ellis walked his first time. Over to first, and they throw it away. Another run will score. Chisholm crosses the plate. Eckstein hustles into second base. LSU committing its 3rd error of the inning. Eckstein moving to second as Chisholm crossed the plate to make it 3-0.
You rarely see that happen, much less twice in a game. Blackston just cannot throw a strike to first. Puts pressure on Furness. The ball gets away. The run scores. LSU playing poor defense.
3 errors in the inning. The second charge to Laxton. The pitch is upstairs. No ball, no strikes.
This is what happens when a team is pesky and executes. They make you doubt yourself a little bit. They start to put you on your heels, just like Dunn was on his heels fielding that ball from Eckstein.
Inside. 2 balls and no strikes. The error came on his 15th move to first base.
That what Andy Lopez wants. He wants you to keep throwing over there. It's the same as throwing the home plate, even though they don't count the pitches as often the first.
Well, the strike, it's 2-1.
They're still throwing the ball hard.
So the Gators with a run in the first, and now two more. Two unearned runs, as it turns out, in the second inning. But big ones nevertheless. Off the plate in, and the count to Ellis is 3-1.
Now Dwayne, Florida, which plays little ball, can make one swing of big ball and break this game open.
Already up to 47 pitches for Brent Laxton.
That's without the 15 to first.
At the strike, and the count goes to 3-2. Well, for a good part of the season, Skip Berkman kept Laxton to about 40 or 45 pitches. And he's let him extend it out recently. He made 82 pitches in the 5-inning stint against Georgia Tech. He's made a lot, and he has yet to get through the second. Tim Lanier, his catcher, out there to spend some time with him. In a tough couple first innings for Brent Laxton.
And he needed to get a couple of good ones under his belt to get his confidence up. He has pitched well lately, but this is the College World Series. He needs to prove himself again here.
The 3-2, a big chop to first. Furness has it and will make the play unassisted to retire the side. 2 runs, both unearned. We'll go into the bottom of the second with the score. Florida 3, LSU nothing. The Tigers coming in to hit in the bottom of the second inning. Well, if you're Florida, you know you can't take a 3-run lead for granted. And if you're LSU, you're confident that you can score runs. They have certainly done that lately. Brad Wilson, the DH, leading off, takes the ball. They have scored, the Tigers, 55 runs in their last 3 games. Wilson hitting .344. Takes a strike from Sergio Rodriguez. Included in that stretch was that 18-run, 13-hit 7th inning against Georgia Tech.
Dwayne, you're right. There's no reason to think that the Tigers of LSU won't score runs. The only problem is the last time they faced Rodriguez.
That's a foul ball, just foul.
He shut them down and frustrated them. As we talked about before, the question is, will they make the adjustment and get to him, or will they continue to be frustrated by swinging at pitches that probably aren't strikes?
Rodriguez. His fastball topped out maybe in the high 70s. And we're talking about needing movement, control. There's a pitch away, and the count goes to 2-2.
Mirrors, elbows, knees.
That's right.
They're well under control. Knows what he wants to throw.
There is ball 3. So a full count. I don't know if you were able to hear it just a moment ago. The hot chocolate salesman doing a brisk business. And it's a little cool in Omaha. We had beautiful clear skies yesterday. But it's blustery and cool today. Time called before that last pitch. So it will not count, and the count reverts back to 2-2. So Rodriguez gets a little break here. He'll try the 2-2 pitch again. And a ground ball to first. Nice hop for Duncan, who will make the play unassisted. That's the first out in the second inning. 1 gone, bases empty. He tries to wait on this one and punches it through into center field. That's a base hit for Bowles. Bowles fighting himself to stay back on the pitch. And got it through the middle with a soft liner into center.
Watch Bowles. Watch him stay back. Double clutch and just little topspin lob to center field. It's a good controlled hitter, knows the strike zone.
So a base hit, the second hit for LSU, and here's Tim Lanier. Lanier, the captain of this team. 5 home runs, including a grand slam against Wichita State on Saturday. And Bowles is back in.
We talk about in college athletics that these are supposed to be student athletes, and in this case of Lanier, he's a student athlete leader. So on the all academic team, captain of this Tiger team, on-field leader.
And the pitch is off the plate. Lanier does not offer. Ball 1. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Florida with a run in the first and 2 in the second. Lanier waiting. There's a pitch in there for a strike. 10 of his runs batted in have come in the last couple games. He had 5, including the grand slam.
Excellent steal ratio, 12 out of 13.
That's down. 2 balls and a strike.
Rodriguez, a double play pitcher, because of his sinker slider, forces the batter to hit the ball into the ground. Mixed up his pitches very well over the first couple of innings. Rodriguez not too concerned about balls at first, even though he has a good steal ratio.
There's a little tap foul. The count squares out at 2 balls and 2 strikes. His 5 starts for the year. All 4 of his decision coming in those 5 starts, and a .270 earned run average as a starter. He made 15 appearances out of the bullpen along with those 5 starts.
Tigers waiting for that one pitch up. So far, Rodriguez has mastered the sinker and slider.
Yeah, if he gets the ball up, he's in trouble. The count is 2-2. He's up for this one. The count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. A 3-run ball game.
Skip Bertman likes to run in certain situations. I wouldn't be surprised with 1 out. And Lanier has handled the bat well, that he wouldn't send him.
Over the first again on Bowles, who is back in there.
It's worked so far for Lopez, and Bertman likes continuity. He's the U.S. Olympic coach. Perfect man for the job.
The 3-2. And a fly ball into left, sending Ogle back on the run, and he can't get there. Extra bases. Bowles hitting third. He'll be waved home. Lanier digging for third. The throw will not be in time. LSU is on the board as Tim Lanier triples. That's his second 3-base hit of the year. A triple into left center field. That's the first triple we've seen in the College World Series, and wouldn't you know, it's a catcher who comes up with it.
Tim Lanier, hitting star for the Tigers in these first 2 games. It's a line shot that Ogle just misses. Now can't get up to it. Bowles scores easily. Lanier not with great speed, but hit the ball in a perfect slot. Slides in with a triple.
It's a 3-1 ball game. And here's Warren Morris. Morris out in front, strike 1. Morris hitting out of the 9th spot, but he's really not a number 9 hitter. He had surgery on the hamate bone in his hand. He was out. He lines this one into right field, a base hit. Lanier scores. Morris drives in the run. Warren Morris picking up his 17th run, batted in, waited on the pitch and lined it through the right side.
As you said, Dwayne, he's coming off a hamate surgery, but he's a talented player who hits right through that ball. It's a line shot to right field. Skip Bertman said this is one of the best athletes on his team. He missed many games so far this season. That's why he has no home runs, because there still is some tenderness and some weakness in the hand. But that doesn't keep him from hitting a line drive.
So Morris comes up with the run batted in. The bottom part of this LSU order has been so effective here in the College World Series. They had a great night against Wichita State. And the 6 through 9 hitters, 7 of the 11 runs, 10 of 12 runs batted in, belong to the bottom part of the order. Lanier has tripled home a run, and now Morris has followed with a base hit to drive in a run to make it a 1-run contest, 3-2.
It seems that let's take a look at Wilkerson warming up. He will do this when time is called and the pitching coach goes to the mound. Andy Lopez tells us that he warms up much better from the sideline. Early in the season, he had him throwing with the center fielder, and it works much better this way.
Jacob Roll, the right-hander. And if Rodriguez should have an early exit, Roll may come in there depending on the matchup situation. And as we just saw, Wilkerson, who would also figure in the plan. Ideally, Lopez was hoping to get 5 innings, maybe 6, out of Rodriguez, and then go to the bullpen, go to Brad Wilkerson. But he may be an early entry into this game. Here's Jason Williams, the top of the batting order. First pitch is outside, ball 1.
We talked about the need for Rodriguez to keep the ball down. Well, against Warren Morris, he got the ball up, and look what happened. The line shot to right and a run scored for LSU.
And it's a 1-run ball game. Over to first again. The game plan would be for Rodriguez to go, get him deep into the game, 5-6 innings, and then Brad Wilkerson or Paul Rigdon. Roll would enter if they have to go earlier. There's a strike. Well, the count now 1 ball, 1 strike to Williams. 3 straight hitters have reached base. 2 of them have scored for LSU. And Jason Williams, who's had a good postseason, coming into this one hitting .467 for the postseason. Nice stop by Castaldo. And the count is 2 balls and a strike.
Warren Morris with good speed at first base. Jason Williams handles the bat well. It's amazing how long it took Florida to get its 3 runs and how short it's taken LSU to get its 2 runs.
Williams waiting. And a ground ball down to third, gets away from Ellis. And everybody is safe. Ellis will be charged with an error. And that helps the LSU cause. 16th error of the year charged to the Florida third baseman.
Let's take a look at how Ellis handles this ball. He stabs at it. He really gets twisted. Should have had the palm up and fielding that ball. Watch him stab at it down. He's already down on his knees. He should have been in a crouched position. He didn't react to the ball well. Time to forget that. Concentrate on the next hitter.
Here's Mike Kerner. Kerner walked his first time up. Rodriguez taking his time out there in a spot. Still holding a lead. But that 3-run lead has disappeared. It's down to 1, and LSU is charging.
What happens is LSU keeps hitting the ball harder and harder, putting pressure on the defense.
And he takes this one too low. LSU now with 4 hits. Florida charged with its first error. Turner fouls this one, and the count is 1-1. The lefty Rodriguez in a spot, because beyond Turner, just 1 out in the inning. Then he'll get into the run producers with Nathan Dunn and Eddie Furnace due to follow. One and 1 the count. The ball, 2 strikes.
Good pitch that time by Rodriguez. Just slipped that fastball inside.
Turner started the day at .313, but over .390 with runners in scoring position. Here's Morris at second, Williams at first. And a fly ball into left. Ogle comes in charging and makes the catch on the move for the out. 2 gone. Runners holding at first and second. And it's going to be Nathan Dunn.
Third baseman, 16, Nathan Dunn.
Dunn, the third baseman. Dunn with 78 runs batted in for the year. Rodriguez a check of the runners, and the pitch is wide. Dunn on the coach's first team All SEC. Laxton continues to stay warm. The starting pitcher for LSU as he goes down toward the bullpen to stay loose.
He's got some new life with these 2 runs scored by the Tigers.
And a turn. Nothing doing back there. We've had a couple of innings here, drawn out innings. The first 2. And so long that Laxton, the starting pitcher, is warming up again. A 1-ball, no strike count. Off the plate in. 2 balls and no strike.
Looks very comfortable, doesn't it? That reminds me of a birthday girl today, Olivia Lauren Garvey. 2 today. Having a little party this afternoon. Happy birthday, honey.
The 2-0 pitch is popped up short right. Wilkerson. The wind carries it a bit as Wilkerson is camped under it and makes the catch for the out. LSU settles for 2. We have completed 2 of the score. Florida 3 and the Tigers 2. Florida leading 3-2 as we move into the 3rd inning from the College World Series at Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. Late last night, Clemson stayed alive and defeated Oklahoma State 8-5. So the Cowboys, the first team to be eliminated here. Now Clemson, with the loss, will continue into the brackets. They'll go up against Alabama in a game to be seen tomorrow on ESPN beginning at 3:30 Eastern. Miami clobbering Alabama, so the Hurricanes advance as well, unbeaten 2-0. Alabama and Clemson continue in the elimination round.
Dwayne, Mike Patrick and I had a chance to do that game last night on the Deuce, and it was an excellent game, even though it was 4 hours. A lot of strategy between Gary Ward and Jack Liggett of Clemson. Clemson finally winning a game after being 0-8 in this College World Series.
Brad Wilkerson leads off, fouling away the first pitch, strike one. Wilkerson hitting over 400, leading his club in runs batted in. The freshman outfielder pitcher. This one is high, and the count is 1-1.
And when we talked to Andy Lopez, the irony is that earlier in the season he wasn't swinging the bat very well, and Andy Lopez was starting to lean towards making him just an exclusively a pitcher. And wow, what a loss that would have been. He said he started to see him pick up the bat a little bit, hit the ball the other way, and then all of a sudden he started to get his balance, started hitting through the ball, and now he's at 405.
A ball, 2 strikes. This one is high, and the count goes to 2-2. Lopez said he was very optimistic coming out of the fall, the 3 weeks that they spent. He knew he had a young team, and he just wondered if perhaps he was overly optimistic because he was so disappointed with the way the team finished the year before. But that optimism well warranted. There's the team here today playing for its 50th win. Florida won 51 games in 91. That's their high water mark. They're trying to hit 50 today. And a full count on Brad Wilkerson. He draws the walk. That's 3 given up by Laxton. Leadoff walk by the freshman Wilkerson. Skip Bertman's on his way to the mound. He's trying to be patient with Laxton. He's had some action in the bullpen as Laxton gave up a run in the first. A double play ball helped him out of some trouble there, and then he was charged with a couple runs in the second inning. And Joey Painich is up again in the bullpen for LSU, so he should be ready at a moment's notice.
And I'm quite sure he's telling Laxton now, take a look at that scoreboard. Look what Florida's done the last couple innings by you putting guys on base. Throw strikes, young man. We can't afford to let them get runs every inning. Let's go.
So the leadoff walk given up by Laxton. Bertman pays him a visit. Now Laxton will have to face the cleanup hitter, the designated hitter, Chuck Hazard.
Skip Bertman reminds me of a priest. He goes out there and tells the kids what they should be doing, and I am understanding, and you've got to have faith in me.
1 ball to no strike.
A great paternal influence on this Tiger team.
Laxton struggling through the first 2. Still trying to get on track for LSU, and that's a pretty good pitch to Hazard. So the count is 1-1. Laxton coming into this game 7 wins and 2 losses with a .373 earned run average, covering 11 starts and a couple bullpen appearances tacked onto the season. His numbers actually were pretty good. The walk total might have been a little high. He was averaging about 4.5 walks every 9 innings, but more than a strikeout per inning, and he's ahead of Hazard, a ball and 2 strikes.
Hazard with a lot of power, an interesting stance for a young man that is such a good hitter. It's an open stance. He has his arms pushed away from his body. And I think you've heard me say I'm not a big advocate of open stances, but he does come right back in and strides at the pitcher.
This one is inside, and the count goes to 2-2. Laxton so far closing in on 60 pitches, trying to get the first out in the 3rd inning.
And the defense has caused about 15 or 20 of those pitches.
There's a shot up the right side, foul, holding the count at 2-2. Well, 3 errors charged to LSU and 2 assessed to Laxton. He was so concerned with the base runners He's thrown another entire game with Furness, his first baseman, as his receiver. Wilkerson, the base runner, on the leadoff walk, and a 2-2 count on Hazard. There goes Wilkerson. The pitch is inside. No, it's a call. Strike 3 and safe at second base. A delayed call by Crystal at the plate as the pitch caught the inside corner. Wilkerson steals second base.
The aggressive Gators, they'll always move on you in key situations. This base stolen essentially on the pitcher. Ball looks inside. It's a good throw down to second base, just a little off, and the runner slides in safely.
Laxton picks up his first strikeout. A stolen base for Wilkerson, number 14. And John Tamargo is going to be the hitter with a man in scoring position.
Talked about Lanier being a leader on the field that time. He made Laxton back off, went to talk to him, settle him down a little bit.
Margot chops it to the right side. Morris with a big hop. Makes the throw to first out there. And Wilkerson advances to third. So the Gators have a man at third with 2 outs. And their catcher, Eric Castaldo, due up.
35.
Castaldo hitting .317. Laxton out of the stretch, and a fly ball into right field. Bowles broke back and is there now to make the catch to retire the side. A leadoff walk, but the Gators do not score. We're headed into the bottom of the third. Florida 3, LSU 2. Bouncer up the right side. Furness is out, an easy out here to open the bottom of the third. We talked with Skip Bertman earlier about all the potential Olympians here.
10 of the players are here at the College World Series. So obviously we're going to get there as soon as our participation here ends. And it's not as bad as it sounds because we know them from the fall where we were with them for a week, and we had many of them last summer.
Chad Cooley, and he takes the pitch on the outside part of the plate for a strike.
We talked about Skip being the perfect man for the Olympic coaching job. He's been the perfect man at LSU for a number of years now. And Sandy Cooley was talking, Sandy Bertman rather, was talking about not seeing her husband very much. She says that every year. I don't see him very much during the season.
Well, it's a big job for Bertman not only to coach that Olympic team, but to pick the Olympic team. With 10 hopefuls here, a total of 44 trying to make that team. A ball and 2 strikes. He'll have to be down to 25 by the 15th of June, and then by the end of the first week in July down to 20. So there are going to be some very good players not included. And versatility is going to turn out to be a key. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count to Cooley.
And Dwayne, over the last year, a number of good college players trying out for the Olympic team. So all in all, I know Skip will tell you he's probably seen 60, 65 excellent quality college baseball players.
And the ground ball headed to short. Tamargo trying to come up with it, but could not make the play. Cooley makes the turn and will hold at first. So the Tigers have a base runner with 1 out here in the third.
So far, the Gators have had trouble fielding the ball cleanly. Tamargo short arms that one. And I believe they give him a hit on that.
And Cooley's aboard. They're debating it right now. He would have had a difficult play to make, and they are going to give him a hit. So Cooley is aboard. And that will be the 5th hit for LSU. 1 on, 1 out. Cooley has some speed over there. 16 steals on the year. Brad Wilson, the designated hitter, at the plate. Next one too low for a ball.
Wilson, a very disciplined hitter. Good hitter in this situation because he's smart enough to take a pitch and try to shoot it through the hole on the right side, with Cooley being held on by Matt Duncan.
One ball and one strike. Rodriguez can tantalize you, can't he?
Anytime you see a big, long swing like that, it means the hitter's been fooled by a breaking pitch, and we've seen probably half a dozen of those swings so far by the Tigers against Rodriguez.
This one misses just outside. The count is 2 balls and a strike. 3 runs, 3 hits for Florida, taking advantage of 3 errors in the second inning by LSU. The Tigers have 2 runs on 5 hits. Here's the 2-1. Rodriguez instead the first. He's very deliberate. Wilson at the plate following the base hit, the infield hit by Cooley. He's gone over again.
Rodriguez mixing up his moves from the stretch. A lot of times he'll lift that front knee up and freeze the runner. Sometimes he'll use a little slip step to home. Due for the slip step.
And he picks up the corner for a strike. 2-2.
Usually with very good runners, a pitcher will hold the ball for a longer period of time, work on the anxiety of the runner, or try to freeze the runner. And the next time he'll go to a set and throw quick.
Again, the first base. Bottom half of inning 3. Tigers got down 3-0 before putting 2 on the board in the second inning. The bottom part of the order again coming through for LSU, with Lanier and Morris driving in the runs. The 8 and 9 hitters in Skip Bertman's lineup. A little bit upstairs, and the count goes to 3-2. Wilson, a 5th-year senior.
Let's take a look at this pitch. Called high. Low strike zone today.
And Rodriguez, the first, almost had Cooley leaning a little bit over there at first base. But that move to first base, Steve, was so deliberate, it wasn't as if he was going to pick anybody off.
No, he should have known that LSU does like to run in situations like this. Full counts with 1 out, with the runner having decent speed. Almost picked him off.
He's gone again.
Another deliberate move to first base. This is when you take your stretch and boom, slip pitch home. Really not too far off the bag.
And again over there. Now Rodriguez now has surpassed Laxton with moves to first. That's 17 moves to first by Rodriguez, and the LSU starter Laxton got into trouble by going over there all too often in the second inning. 15 times for Laxton. 3-2. Runner goes, and the pitch is skied to left. Ogle back in front of the track to make the catch for the second out, and Cooley will retreat to first base. So it took a while, but Rodriguez retired Wilson. 2 outs. LSU coming in, making its 8th appearance in the College World Series, all since 1986. They have a great history over the past few years, including a couple of titles, most recently in '93. That's another reason that Skip Bertman is where he is as the head coach of the U.S. Olympic team this year. Here's Justin Bowles.
Wilson's hit the left field that time. If the wind had been shifted from right to left, would have had a good chance of going out. It was knocked down a little bit by the wind.
This is down, blocked by Castaldo. 1 ball, no strikes. Castaldo a little trimmer than he was when he started the year. Andy Lopez says he's had to get him a new pair of pants. That the waistline has trimmed a little bit because of all the catching he's done this spring. This one way outside, picked out of the dirt by Castaldo, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes on Justin Bowles.
Young man's caught a lot throughout the whole year. Loves it behind the plate. Doesn't want to take a day off. Feels that the pitching staff needs to work with him on a constant basis. Has that good rapport. The 1-finger sign, probably a fastball in. Well, he's trying to distract the hitter that time.
The base runner is Chad Cooley. He reached on the infield hit. And a high fly ball back towards center. Chisholm on the track and in front of the fence makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, and that man is left on base. We have completed 3 innings with the score. Florida 3 and LSU 2. 3-2 the score. Florida leading LSU as we move into the top of the 4th inning. Well, we've had a lot of baseball take place here in the first 3 innings of one sort or another. Here's the breakout. 122 pitches to the plate, 32 moves to first base, and 4 errors, and the longest game by time, 4 hours and 1 minute, Arizona State and Oklahoma State in 1984. That game finished 23-12, by the way. We've got a 3-2 ball game going here, and we're on a record-breaking pace. Better than 4:30 if this thing keeps up. Here's Matt Duncan, and the first pitch is a strike.
Oh, good.
Doesn't cost any more. You get all this extra baseball for free. A strike to count as Laxton misses with this one outside. Laxton walked the leadoff man in the 3rd, and that prompted a visit from his coach Skip Bertman. He settled in, struck out Hazard, got Tamargo on a ground ball and Castaldo on a fly ball. Now 1-1 with Duncan.
Bertman gave him an old-fashioned father and son talk.
He said, see that guy in the bullpen? If you don't settle in, that guy's in and you're out.
You're 1 batter away from shaking his hand. He's a good psychologist, that man right there. Gets the most out of his players. Reminds me a lot of Tom Lasorda of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're very good baseball men, but what they do best is get the most of that out of their players using psychology, pat on the back, a stern word once in a while.
The 3-1 is skied back into center, and Turner is right there to make the catch. So Duncan is out of there.
That ball actually sliced to Kerner in center. Hit it so hard.
2 teams out of the Southeastern Conference. Kind of fun to hear these coaches talk about how competitive that conference is, and particularly among the fans in the Southeastern Conference. There's a strike to Chris Chisholm.
Chisholm, who can bunt, as we see done, even with the bag, will come in onto the grass. See him creep up.
And a wave and a miss, nothing in 2 the count. That first pitch to Chisholm came in at 90 miles per hour. And Laxton, if he's right, can top out in that neighborhood. 91, maybe 92. Had him on the gun at 90 on strike one to Chisholm. 0-2 the count. And a strike on the corner. A good sequence of pitches by Laxton to pick up his second strikeout. As he picked up the corner away from the left-handed hitter Chisholm for out number 2.
Look at the concentration by Laxton. With four-seam fastball in a perfect location, low and away.
So he's retired 5 in a row since the visit from Bertman. It is Brian Ogle. Strike on the corner again.
Back-to-back fastballs on the outside corner. Laxton getting into a groove now. Talked about this young man needing to prove to himself that he can pitch here at this College World Series after a couple of years of injuries.
Ogle lined to center his first time. Takes this one upstairs. The count is 1-1.
In the back of his mind, he knows that the professional scouts here with the draft this coming week.
The 1-1 foul out of play. The count is a ball and 2 strikes. We're in the 4th. Florida jumped out to a 3-0 lead. LSU back with a couple in the second inning. In what through the first 3 innings has been a very slow moving game. Laxton picking up the pace a bit in the 4th. Ahead of Ogle, a ball, 2 strikes. And this one is just a bit up. And the count goes to 2-2.
Brett Laxton really popping that catcher's mitt of Tim Lanier now. Nice and loose in a freewheeling time of this game for him.
The 2-2. He was looking for the call on the corner again, but didn't quite get it, and the count goes to 3-2.
Let's take a look at this pitch. Lanier sets up inside. Look at that ball tail on the outside. Ooh, that looked good. Just missed.
The 3-2. And he lost him high. So Ogle draws the 2-out walk. The 4th walk given up by Laxton. And David Eckstein, the top of the Florida batting order, will be next. Eckstein has a couple hits. He has 2 of 3 Florida hits. Eckstein opened this game with a home run when he drove a 2-1 pitch out to right field for his 9th home run of the year. He now has 100 hits for the Gators this year. And the pitch is upstairs for a ball.
And he's not a big young man physically, but he takes his size, and he's very strong for his size.
Yeah, he's 5'9", 160 pound, out of Sanford, Florida. Tim Raines came out of Sanford, Florida.
But he hits the ball where it's pitched. Big play leadoff hitter for the Gators. And he's a walk-on.
Fouls this one back. So the count goes to 1-1. And with his brother Rick at Florida, the entire family will graduate from the University of Florida. His mother and father. He's had 3 siblings undergo kidney transplants. And the family is not only courageous on that front, but accomplished in terms of education. He has a couple of doctors and lawyers in the making. And a home run in the College World Series to chip into the family accomplishment list. 1-1 the count here in the 4th inning. There's a strike. And the count goes to 1-2. And he's always hit well against LSU. He is 11 out of 22 against Tiger pitching.
Looks in for some encouragement to the Gator bench. And Andy Lopez says Lopez will say cover that plate now with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Got a big hole on the right side of the infield.
He's down in the count. Eckstein, a ball, 2 strikes. And he pops this one out of play. So he's still alive as he faces Brett Laxton. Laxton got the first 2 outs, then walked Ogle. They're now facing the battler in David Eckstein. There's a liner into center. Turner is going to be there to make the catch for the Tigers, and that retires the side. No runs, a walk, and a man left. Bottom of inning 4 coming. 3-2 Florida. With Steve Garvey, this is Dwayne Stats from Omaha, Nebraska. The College World Series moves into the bottom of the 4th inning. Florida leading LSU 3-2. An overcast day. Let the crowd out in full force again in Omaha. Been a great week so far, and we've got another good one going on here. Sergio Rodriguez on the mound for Florida has worked 3 innings. He'll face the bottom 2 in the LSU order. Tim Lanier, Warren Morris, and then to the top side of the order, Jason Williams, as the Tigers come in to bat in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch, and that's a foul ball, says Kevin Gilmore. Mike Bianco, the third base coach, trying to do a little umpiring himself, imploring Gilmore for a fair ball call, but that ball just foul as Lanier, who had a triple in the 2nd inning, was toying with an extra base hit there.
It's a smile of relief from Andy Lopez. Let's take a look from this great angle here. Does it go over the bag? Wow, that was close. The umpire's right on top of it. Gives an emphatic foul call.
Now the 1-strike pitch is wide. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lanier, 11 runs batted in his last 3 games. Grand slam against Wichita State. A triple and a run batted in this game. He's known for his defensive work and not his bat.
And that's a good month for most people.
Counts 2-1.
Well, we both see it in short series, whether it's playoffs or regionals or World Series, where somebody will step up and lift themselves to another level offensively.
See those LSU banners flying in that stout wind blowing out to right. The count goes to 2-2. A pivotal inning perhaps for Rodriguez in the overall game plan of Florida, Steve.
Lopez decided that he was going to start Rodriguez today because of the way he pitched against LSU early in the year, but he also hoped that he got 4 or 5 innings from Rodriguez so he could get to Wilkerson and Rigdon. So far, so good.
Ground ball, back of third, another foul ball. Miller's coming up with this one, so the count holds at 2-2. When you look back at what could have happened in the 2nd inning with Rodriguez on the ropes a little bit, that could have upset the overall game plan of Andy Lopez. But if he can get an inning here and maybe a little more out of Rodriguez, he's about on track with his plan of action. There's a shot back into left field. Well hit. 1 hop and over the fence for a ground rule double. So Tim Lanier having himself quite a College World Series. A triple and now a double. This one leading off the bottom of the 4th. He's the captain of this team out of Baton Rouge, and he's leading the charge for the Tigers.
Lanier in a groove, as you can see, hits the ball where it's pitched, brings the hands in, hits a hard line drive that takes 1 hop and goes over the fence.
So it's the bottom of this LSU order that has been so productive for Skip Bertman. So far in this game, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters are 4 for 5. And here is Warren Morris.
The Gators will try to do some things defensively now, and one is to protect against the bunt.
And the bunt is fouled. Strike 1.
Skip Bertman has 2 choices With a quality hitter like Morris, who hits left-handed, you can allow him to try to pull the ball on the ground to get the run over with no outs, or to try to bunt him over. He knows Rodriguez will try to keep the ball away from Morris. Third and first base in.
Morris pops up the bunt, and it's a fair ball. Castaldo almost pulled off a heck of a play, but could not hold it. Lanier remains at second, and Morris is aboard. A great effort by Castaldo, and that's going to be a base hit for Morris. Well, Morris didn't want to pop it up on the bunt attempt, but it turns out to be a base hit.
Now this is where a great effort turns out to be a negative, because Castaldo tries for this diving catch. The ball bounces out as he hits the ground and then rolls away, so there's no play at first. If it falls down, he probably just picks it up and throws the runner out at first. As you see, the runner was going back to second base, and he never did advance, which is a break for the Gators.
Now Jason Williams, the top of the order. Time called here, with the Tigers putting the first two men on. Gary Henderson walks slowly to the mound. Brad Wilkerson is playing catch along the right field line. And Rodriguez has made a lot of pitches. Again, the game plan for Andy Lopez was to get 5 innings if he could. He would settle for 4. He's made 67 pitches through 3 innings and 2 hitters here in the 4th. Now the Gators talk it over on the mound.
Well, I think he's about ready to bring him in, because in this situation with no out, runners on first and second base, not only does Wilkerson have a great arm, but he's also a great athlete and can field his position well. And he goes to him.
Yep. So Chuck Hazard, who is the designated hitter, starts to get loose as well, as they'll have to make some defensive adjustments. It will be Brad Wilkerson coming on, and we'll take a break for this. Moves out of the DH spot to take over at first, and Brad Wilkerson will go to the mound to replace Sergio Rodriguez. So the Gators get 3 innings plus out of Rodriguez. Wilkerson, who closed the game the other night, picked up the save, has turned out to be a one-man crew of sorts here in the College World Series, and for the season, as far as that's concerned, for Florida, as a hitter and making defensive plays in the outfield and his work on the mound. So Andy Lopez decides that's going to be enough out of the left-hander Rodriguez. He gave up 7 hits, didn't strike out anybody, and so far has been charged with 2 runs, and as he leaves, he is responsible for the 2 men on base. The other thing this might do, as Wilkerson goes to the mound, but the defense behind him might suffer a bit, in that Florida considers Duncan to be a better first baseman than Hazard. But they want the arm of Brad Wilkerson on the mound. And here is Jason Williams to face Wilkerson. And the pitch is outside for a ball. Williams is nothing out of 2. Reached on an error his last time. And the pitch is down.
Skip Bertman not having Williams even square around to bunt on those first 2 pitches. He's looking to break this game open. Both second and short for the Gators back in double play depth. Both of the corners in.
And the strike. The count goes to 2 balls and a strike.
You see the defense, second and short by second base. First baseman in. Williams may attempt to bunt this time.
Now the 2-1. Off the plate. Bill Wilkerson is behind 3-1. Lanier double. Morris reached on what turned out to be a bunt hit. First and second, nobody out. 3 balls and a strike to count to Jason Williams.
It's a hitter's count. He can afford to take a good rip at this one. Catcher sets up outside.
And a strike is called to run the count to 3-2. Wilkerson came on for an inning and a third in relief of John Kaufman against Florida State in the Florida victory. He's out in the 4th inning today. And the 3-2 to Williams is down for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Pushes Lanier to third. Morris up to second as Wilkerson gives up the walk to Williams. They are loaded with nobody out for Mike Kerner. Kerner has walked and flied out to left field. The interesting here is Lopez is setting his defense. And DeMargo and Eckstein about halfway at short and second. And the pitch skied into left. Ogle is back under it to make the catch. The tag by Lanier. He's going to score as the throw is toward third. The run is charged to Rodriguez, and this game is tied 3-3. Kerner delivers a sacrifice fly, driving in his 43rd run this year.
Kerner did the job. That's what you want to do in this situation with a runner on third base and less than 2 out. You want to hit the ball to center the opposite way, get it in the air, get it deep enough to get the run in, and that run tied the score.
Now Nathan Dunn. LSU still with their big guns due up here. Dunn with 78 runs batted in, and Furness behind him with 102. The runners break. The pitch is a ball, and the throw a double steal. LSU pulls off a double steal to put both men in scoring position for Dunn.
We talked about Lopez and the way he runs his team. Bertman does the same thing in a surprise situation. Now with runners on second and third.
They have Furness on deck. Wilkerson down to Dunn. A ball, no strikes. First base open now. And the pitch misses for ball 2.
If you're Florida, you have to think about your defense now with the score tied and runners on second and third. You don't want to play in too far. As you see, second and shorter back. First base is back. Third back. They want to cut the ball off. Save at least 1 run.
It's a 3-3 ball game. Bottom of the 4th. Wilkerson and Dunn the matchup. Strike is called to make it 2-1.
Good curveball that time by Wilkerson. Young man is coming in a tough situation. He's thrown the ball hard, has kept the ball away. Of course, Kerner to keep it in the ballpark. Looked like he almost got hit by a ball with that lip, doesn't it? That's not just a cracked lip.
Now the 2-1. Ground ball down to third. Ellis was out at first. Out there as the run scores. Morris crosses the plate to make it 4-3 LSU. Dunn will get credit for the run batted in his 79th. A run charged to Rodriguez to close the book on the Florida starter.
You have a split second to make a decision, and this ball is hit hard to Ellis. Now he should just come up and fire home. Easily could have gotten the runner at home plate, but decides to get the batter at first. That's a mental mistake.
Now Eddie Furnace 1 for 2 in this game. 4-3 LSU has taken the lead. So 3 innings plus for Rodriguez. 4 runs on 7 hits charged to the Florida starter.
This has been a game of pressure points. Each team putting pressure on the opposing team and forcing them to crack.
Breaking ball. Furnace trying to check and did. Ball 1.
Both teams hitting and running. Both teams going on the pitch. These are 2 well-coached teams. A little bit like a prize fight. Feeling each other out. Little jabs here, there. The only problem from Florida is that LSU has a knockout punch. They do have the big hitters that can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
The 1-0 into the dirt, and it bounces by Castaldo. A wild pitch sends Jason Williams down to third.
Castaldo, who does a great job behind home plate blocking pitches. This ball is too far in front. See the bad hop. The spin kicks off his shoulder. It's off the tarp and comes back to him. Ow. That's a stinger, as they say, right on the top of the shoulder bone.
So Jason Williams is at third with 2 outs. Tigers have taken a 1-run lead on the Gators. Stays inside. Wilkerson behind Furnace in the count.
This is the key batter of the game for Florida. Furnace with a tremendous amount of power. 1 slip.
And this one is wide. He walked him. So a couple walks given up by Wilkerson. First and third. And now Chad Cooley will bat. Andy Lopez directing some traffic defensively for the Gators.
Andy Lopez does an excellent job of working with his defense, making sure they know what the pitcher's going to throw to a hitter at either the right or left side of the plate so they can shift with the pitch.
The double by Lanier started the inning. He has been key in this College World Series for LSU. Lanier and Morris have scored the runs. The pitch to Cooley. That's a strike on the inside part of the plate. Cooley came into the game hitting over .390 in postseason play for LSU this year. And a foul ball back. Just a piece of that one off the end of the bat. 0-2.
Wilkerson took a little off that fastball that time. Castaldo wanted him to pitch it outside. It was good location. Wilkerson ahead in the count now. 2 strikes and no balls.
Florida trying to keep the cap on a team that has scored 55 runs in 3 games coming into this one. Back to first. Furnace. Chuck Hazard, the new first baseman.
Hey, here we go, Will. Here we go.
And another long inning to wait for Brett Laxton. But his teammates have given him a lead now, way high. And the count's 1-2. Castaldo, a look into the dugout there. A ball, 2 strikes. The count on Chad Cooley. Step back, and as he stepped off and then turned to third, Furness started to move a little bit, but nothing comes of that.
It's almost the reverse of the old fake to third and throw to first. That time he stepped off, fake to first, and turned around. Confusing for the Tiger runners.
This one high, and there's a delayed start by Furness. Snaps go down to third. Williams caught in the rundown, and he will be tagged out by Castaldo as the Tigers try to steal a run. It turns out to be a caught stealing, with Jason Williams tagged out in the rundown between third and home to end the inning. 2-run score in the inning for LSU, and the Tigers grab the lead through 4. It's now Tigers 4, Gators 3.
If you're looking for a
After Laxton walked Wilkerson to lead off that inning, he's given up nothing but the walk to Ogle over the last couple innings. There's a strike, and he's out in front of Mark Ellis, 0-2.
Laxton is a man who's into a groove now, and with a 1-run lead, he can sense that this game is his. He's throwing exceptionally well. The breaking pitches are nice and tight, fastball nice and live. Skip Bertman said this man is a gamer. He will come at you. His heart and soul is on that rubber.
The ball, 2 strikes, the count. And he strikes out Ellis. Boy, that was a great pitch. Laxton picks up the strikeout, his third, and the first out in the 5th inning.
Laxton almost overpowering at this point. Throws his fastball right by him.
Here's Brad Wilkerson. Wilkerson has grounded into a double play and walked. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner.
And when you throw this hard and stay around the plate, you're going to get a few calls by that umpire.
Laxton 90 on the first pitch to Wilkerson. Another pitch out there for strike 2 call.
Carbon copy of the fastball before. You talk about him being in a groove. He is in a groove now.
Florida got off to a 3-0 lead, but LSU has come back to grab a 4-3 advantage. Laxton outside off the plate this time as Lanier set out there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This one off the plate out there as well. 2-2.
Laxton shows a lot of respect for Wilkerson and his power and quick bat. He's kept the ball away from him. 2-2. He has a pitch to waste. He could try to jam him or bring that curveball down and in.
And a base hit through the right side. So Wilkerson comes up with a hit, a 1-out single off the 2-2 pitch, driving it in between first and second.
Laxton Bryant finally brings a pitch over the plate to Wilkerson, and Wilkerson does what he does best, get the head of the bat on the ball and shoots it through the right side.
That's the 4th Florida hit. And here's Chuck Hazard, who's now playing first base. Hazard started the game as the DH. And a base hit right back through the middle. Wilkerson will make the turn and stop Kerner up with a ball in center. So Hazard jumped on the first pitch, and now the Gators start to try to mount a comeback. 2 men on with 1 out for their shortstop, John Tamargo.
And those were back-to-back hard shots, Dwayne, simply because Laxton got the ball up on both pitches. The first to Wilkerson and that time to Hazard.
Here's Tamargo. And a strike on the corner. Action again in the bullpen for LSU as things start to stir for the Tigers. And a foul ball back.
Good pitch for Tamargo to hit that time. Nice tight slider, but not a lot of movement on it. Tamargo knows he missed that pitch. He's back with a breaking pitch. Right knee high, and he just misses it.
So 2 strikes to count on the Florida shortstop. And a chopper. That's going to be fouled on the right side. And Tamargo is still alive.
Could have been a lot of trouble, Dwayne, if that ball stayed fair, simply because the pitcher and his momentum would have to take him into foul territory, and the runner running down the line may have given him trouble as far as the play was concerned.
Laxton with 3 strikeouts. He's walked 4, given up a couple hits here in the 5th. 5 total. And ahead of Tamargo. Tamargo 238 against LSU for the year. 0 for 2 today. He was a switch hitter, but about mid-season decided to stay strictly from the left side. Nothing out of the turn back to second base. And Andy Lopez was encouraged. At times Tamargo may find himself pulling off the ball a little bit. He said yesterday in batting practice he had a good one, staying on the ball. But in the hold against Laxton, 2 strikes here in the 5th. Takes this one on the corner, says Crystal, for strike 3 call, and Tamargo is a little upset. Andy Lopez says that's all right, cool it. But strike 3 call is another look.
Well, let's take a look at Laxton. This pitch, it might have been on the corner, but the corner of the batter's box. That ball is definitely outside as far as I'm concerned. Pitcher is very pleased with that, and Tamargo says, I couldn't reach that if I had an extension onto this bat.
Here's the catcher, Eric Castaldo, taking the first pitch high, ball 1. So Tamargo called out on strikes and showing a great deal of restraint in the process. Now it's up to the catcher, Castaldo. 2 balls and no strikes. Castaldo's gone to the right side both times with fly balls to right, and he'll hit the ball that way and sometimes with authority.
It's a right center field hitter who makes good contact simply because he stays on the ball.
Sends another one into right field. Bowles backing up all the way to the track, but it'll stay in the ballpark as Bowles makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, and the Gators lead both men. We're going into the bottom of the 5th from Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha. LSU 4 and Florida 3. 15 innings. The winning run scored when Southern Cal loaded the bases on a bunt single by Dave Kingman, of all people. Frank Alfado's infield dribbler delivered the game-winning run in the Trojans' 6th championship.
We're just in talking about Dave Kingman, that possibly could have been the only bunt of his life. I've never seen him do anything but just rear back and just throw the lumber at the ball.
Yeah, he's about the antithesis of the idea of a bunt as you'll ever see.
I would like to have seen a video of him bunting that ball. I just can't picture him getting the head of the bat out and just dropping it down like that.
Well, we go into the bottom of the 5th. Brad Wilkerson on the mound. Brett Langston doing the pitching for LSU. It's a 4-3 ball game with LSU leading. And Chad Cooley is going to lead off the bottom of the 5th for the Tigers. Cooley was at the plate when the Tigers tried to steal a run with men at first and third, and Jason Williams was caught between third and home in the rundown for the final out. First pitch to Cooley's in there for a strike. Cooley, Wilson, and Bowles due up in the 5th inning for the Tigers. The pitch is tight, and the count goes to 1-1. Anything to help their favorite team, in this case LSU.
Ouch.
That's 2 balls in a strike. If we see one of the Florida Gators start to
and she looks like such a sweet girl.
We'll keep our eye on these Gator uniforms and see if anybody starts to behave in a strange and painful manner.
Does her father know what she's doing?
Way high, and the count goes to 3-1.
I think she's hoping for a date. You know, I don't think that's something vicious. I think that's we don't understand what she's doing.
The pitch is in there for a strike. I don't know. I saw Live Chicken, and I don't see him anymore.
So that's right. What was it, Major League 2 or what? David Ward, a dear friend of mine, directed that. I get a big kick out of those movies.
Here's the 3-2. It is jammed, and a roller out to second for Eckstein, who makes the play to Hazard at first to retire Cooley. 1 out in the 5th. Here's Brad Wilson.
You know, that pitch was so deep into his hands that time, and it's amazing. He's a great example of aluminum bat. He was able to fight that off, and it probably didn't hurt him very much either. If he was using a wooden bat, the bat would have been shattered, and his hands would be stinging, and it would be a reminder about hard inside pitches.
The pitch to Wilson is inside, ball 1. Well, that's a major difference from the collegiate ranks to the pro ranks. That aluminum bat, not only from a hitter's perspective, but from a pitcher's perspective, and the way a lot of college pitchers approach the art or the craft of pitching. 1 ball and 1 strike. And they're not going to stay inside as often as they normally would.
And when we talked to Skip Bertman this morning, he said, but the good pitcher with the live fastball has to do that. He has to establish himself inside.
And a strike as Wilkerson dropped down a little bit. And is ahead of Wilson, a ball and 2 strikes.
The term nasty comes to mind when Wilkerson drops down from a side-on position against a left-handed hitter.
The 1-2, and he got it. Wilson out on strikes. First strikeout for Wilkerson. Well, you drop down on 1 pitch and then come back with that one. Wilkerson picks up the strikeout against the left-handed hitting DH.
The hitter starts to bob up and down then. Then you know you've got him.
There's another left-handed hitter, Justin Bowles. Bowles 1 for 2. Front foot giving way there for ball 1. Bowles takes this one down. A 2-ball, no strike count.
Wilkerson has adjusted to the mound after pitching last inning, and it took him 4 or 5 batters, but he's gotten into a nice groove. He's just a great all-around athlete.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. He is behind Bowles 3-0. LSU with 5 left-handed hitters in their lineup. Now with Wilkerson out there, that may work to Florida's advantage. Now the 3-0 pitch, and he loses. Bowles, however, on 4 straight pitches. So after the strikeout of Wilson, Bowles draws the walk. And that's going to bring up Tim Lanier, who's been hitting up a storm here in the College World Series for Louisiana State.
Even the crowd senses the accomplishments of Lanier in these first 2 games for LSU. He's just done a great job of hitting. Hit the ball all over the ballpark. Doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs. Lots of confidence in this young man.
Over to first. Bowles is back in. You know, Lanier has hit for the cycle in the 2 games here. He was 2 for 4 with a single and a home run against Wichita State. He has the double and the triple in 2 trips to the plate in this game. And this one is just foul. So he's been a big part of the bottom end of this order, being so productive for the Tigers in the College World Series.
We'll take a look at the stance of Lanier. When I teach hitting, Dwayne, I really like the guys to align their second knuckles, keep the elbows nice and loose but in. And Lanier is a good example of this. He's well balanced at the plate. That's in good hitting position. Watch him keep the elbows in like that. That's how you can extend your bat more quickly.
Wilkerson missed wide, and the count is a ball and a strike. Castaldo's on his way to the mound.
The more you keep your elbows in, the better you are at throwing the head of the bat at the ball. The more you keep your elbows up, the more you become an arm swinger. You drop one elbow or the other and start swinging at angles. His bat has been on a perfect approach plane to the ball.
He is a ball and a strike with Brad Wilkerson. Strike 2 is called. Wilkerson got the first 2 men, walked Bowles. Now ahead of Lanier, a ball and 2 strikes. They're going to go to first here with a move. Bowles back in over there.
He goes to first quicker than most guys go home. That's the sign of a good fastball.
A 2-run fourth for the Tigers to give them a 4-3 lead. They're batting in the bottom of the 5th now. And there is strike 3 called on the inside corner to retire the side. No runs, a walk, and a man left. We are through 5. LSU leading 4-3. 4-3, LSU leading Florida as our game is about to swing into the 6th inning. We play here at Rosenblatt Stadium this afternoon. Later on tonight on ESPN, Wichita State and Florida State come up after this one. One of these teams will be departing Omaha. Wichita State has been to 3 of the last 7 championship games. They're led by 3rd baseman Casey Blake. He went 4 for 5 with 5 runs batted in the opening round loss to LSU. The Seminoles led by super sophomore J.D. Drew, already a College World Series hero, 7 of 14 for his College World Series career. That coming up tonight on ESPN. Here's Sean Walsh getting his first trip to the plate today, fouling away the first pitch from Brett Laxton. That's 100 pitches now for Laxton as he opens the 6th inning. So Laxton, who threw 82 his last time out, now over the 100 mark. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike, and with that in mind, Skip Bertman will keep the bullpen busy and ready. So as far as this year is concerned, Laxton in uncharted waters throws this one into the dirt. The count goes to 2-1. 5 innings, 5 hits, 102 pitches now. 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, 3 runs, just 1 earned run. The defensive problems, including 2 errors committed by Laxton himself, cost him a couple runs in the second. Ground ball over the mound, but the shortstop Williams has problems coming up with this one. And Walsh is aboard. So Williams, who's been such a steady shortstop on the infield for LSU all year, charged with 2 errors against Wichita State, is charged with an error here on the ground ball hit by Walsh.
Now Williams goes down for it. Ball hits the bag. That's where the problem really arises. He still had time after he missed the ball and bobbled it to get him at first, but it hit the bag, and then that threw him off.
Walsh, the runner at first. 4 errors charged to LSU as Chris Chisholm is the hitter. He was called out on strikes in the 4th. And the bunt, first base side. Furness looking, and now there's a mix-up. Nobody covering first. So another lapse by the LSU defense. Chisholm's going to get credit for a base hit, but there was some indecision that cost LSU an out that time.
Well, the problem with the ball was bunted well, but bunted very hard. And of course the decision then was to go to second by Furness, and he hesitated. Then it was too late to get the speedy Chisholm. Watch now. He's really bunting for a hit. He's not sacrificing. He looks. Then it's too late. Now Laxton gets over too late. Almost a collision. Now runners on first and second. Nobody out.
First and second. Nobody out. And Skip Bertman goes out to talk with Laxton. He has that bullpen ready if he wants to go that way.
Well, I don't think Laxton was ever going to get to the 120 pitch mark, and now I know that Skip is just wasting a little time out there.
He's had Joey Paintage up off and on all day, and Kevin Shipp has also been throwing. Paintage on the right side of your screen, and Shipp, who closed the game the other day, is out there as well, as Bertman decides to stick with Laxton at least for the time being.
Well, I think Laxton still has velocity, not like he had 2 innings ago. And I am surprised. I don't think Skip Bertman feels that the relievers are ready or could do a better job than Laxton in this situation, but he's not going to face too many more hitters.
Now here's Ogle. He puts down the bunt. Laxton up with it. He'll have to go to first. Out there, Furness got back to cover. So the sacrifice is good. Walsh into third and Chisholm up to second. Ogle puts down the sacrifice. So 2 men are in scoring position for the top of the batting order.
Let's take a look at the bunt. Really gets the ball on the third base side very well, forcing Laxton to throw to first base. Good job of sacrificing.
Now the top of the order, David Eckstein. 2 men in scoring position here with only 1 out in the 6th. And the Gators have not put the ball out of the infield. First pitch to Eckstein is in there for a strike on the inside corner. LSU leading 4-3. Lanier on his way to the mound.
Lanier, the leader on this team, talking to Laxton, pumping him up a little bit, telling him, okay, the infield is in. You've got a 1-run lead. Keep the ball low. Let's see, second and shorts. Second will creep in. The corners or even with the bag.
Bertman's on his way to the mound. So a strike to Eckstein. And Bertman decides to go to the mound, and that's going to be it for Laxton. So Bertman will make a pitching change. 5 1/3 innings here for Laxton. And a look across the street to the zoo here in Omaha with the score 4-3 in the top of the 6th. Back in a moment. LSU leading 4-3 here in the top of the 6th inning. Brett Laxton, who burst upon the scene as a freshman in '93 with 16 strikeouts over Wichita State and a national championship, departs after 5 1/3 innings of this game. That's the scene in '93. Laxton as a freshman. He's had some shoulder problems, rib cage problems, elbow problems the last couple years since then, but he does leave with his club out in front after 5 1/3 innings and a 100+ pitch performance today.
With a lot of pressure on himself today, I think Laxton pitched well, Dwayne. I think he gave the Tigers 5 good, strong innings. Pitched out of some difficulty in the first and second, then settled down through exceptionally well. I thought his fastball and slider were as good as I've seen at this College World Series up to this point.
And Kevin Shipp is the new pitcher for the Tigers. Shipp originally was scheduled to start this game, but he had to be used to close out the game the other night against Wichita State and made 23 pitches in the final inning of that game. So he's in out of the bullpen and will inherit a 1-strike count on David Eckstein in the 6th inning of a 1-run ball game. He inherits 2 men, 2 runners in scoring position.
And a hot hitter at the plate.
And the pitch is up for a ball.
In David Eckstein, a home run and a single so far. A long drive to center, his 3rd at bat.
And a chop to short, charged by Williams. He's coming to the plate and out at the plate. Lanier hung on. Walsh out at the plate. Lopez out to put up a protest with plate umpire Randy Crystal.
And I'm not so sure he tagged him. I think Lanier was concentrating on catching the ball, did a great job of getting the ball out of the dirt, but I'm not so sure he made the tag.
It's going to go as a fielder's choice with Walsh called out at the plate for the 2nd out.
Okay, Eckstein puts the ball in play now. He hits a chopper to short. The question is, can the runner beat the throw home? The throw is low. He makes the catch and never tags the runner. He makes a great catch, but he's concerned about catching it and never touches the runner. Another great angle. He fans on him. And how the umpire can wait and wait and wait and still make the wrong call amazes me.
Now here's Mark Ellis. And the pitch to him is in there for a strike. So the Florida Gators lose a run as Walsh is called out at the plate. The fielder's choice for Eckstein, and Chisholm remained at 2nd. So now with 2 outs, it's a 1st and 2nd situation. Strike 2 call to Ellis.
And I think I got the answer. And this happened to me in the World Series with the Yankees. The umpire was at a poor angle to be able to see the tag made. I was safe at the time. Thurman Munson tagged me too late, and I think he was in direct line with the catcher and the runner and couldn't see a tag, couldn't see the miss.
A swing and a miss by Ellis, who's out on strikes to retire the side, and the Florida threat produces nothing. No runs with 2 left. Bottom half of inning 6 coming. 4-3 LSU. The 6th inning. Warren Morris will lead off for the Tigers, the number 9 hitter, and then back around to Jason Williams and Mike Kerner with Brad Wilkerson on the mound. Well, a missed opportunity. The Gators thought they had the tying run across the plate, but they lost Walsh on the call. Now Wilkerson will go back to the mound here to face Morris. Morris 2 for 2 and a run scored. Bunted his way on as it turned out in the 4th inning when he popped up a bunt. But it went for a base hit. The pitch is inside, ball 1.
I like the way this Warren Morris swings the bat, Dwayne. He, as we mentioned before, coming off a hamate bone surgery, really has nice fluid movements at the plate.
The pitch is in for a strike. The Tigers have not lost with Morris starting a game. He missed about 40-some games with that broken hand. They came into the College World Series 18-0 when he starts.
You don't teach a lot of movement like this, but what he does is he uses that movement to keep himself loose, and then as the ball is released, you'll see him freeze the bat in hitting position, and then he addresses the ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. All 4 LSU runs charged to the starter, Rodriguez. Wilkerson took over with 2 men on in the 4th inning. Both those runs scored. They were charged to the Florida starter. The 1-2, and it's popped up short center. Eckstein out. Tamargo out from shortstop, and it's going to be Tamargo to make the catch for the first out. Larry Conley is standing by down below. Larry?
Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. I'm sitting here with Whitey Eckstein and his wife, Pat, who are the parents of David and Rick Eckstein, 2 of the players on this Florida team. And we've talked a great deal today about your family, Pat, and a wonderful story. I wish you would relay a little bit more of it about the kidney transplants for your family.
Well, back in 1987, my youngest daughter, Susan, went into renal failure, had needed a kidney transplant, and I was fortunate enough to be able to donate a kidney to her. The day we came home from the hospital thinking we had the problem solved, we were told that our oldest daughter was in renal failure and started dialysis in '89, and my oldest son, started in October of the same year.
And all doing well, I might add, too.
Now, yes, they are. They had organ donations in 1991, and right now they're all in law school doing well.
Whitey, I want to ask you, were these 2 guys on this same club here, were they sibling rivalries when they were growing up?
Best friends. They root for each other all the time. They're the best friends, always. In fact, they're my heroes. I look up to my boys. They don't look up to me.
Oh, that's a nice touch. Dwayne?
All right, thank you, Larry. An incredible family story. One of courage and accomplishment as well. And both members here of the Florida Gators. 2 outs in the 6th as Jason Williams lined out to right, and Mike Kerner up there with a count of a ball and a strike. David Eckstein at second base, and his brother Rick not in the lineup today. There's a line drive into right. Walsh is there for this one and makes the catch, so it's a 1-2-3 inning. We're headed into the 7th from Rosenblatt Stadium with the score 4-3 LSU.
National Tire Warehouse rolled into town. Prices rolled down. NTW, where you'll find the
leading Florida 4-3. Not too cold for ice cream here in Omaha.
Omaha's been nice to us.
Whether you're eating it or wearing it, it's not that cold yet.
It is Wilkerson shortening on the bat and taking the pitch for a ball. Wilkerson got a base hit in the 5th inning, walked in the 3rd after grounding into a double play his first time up.
Well, as a
2 balls,
freshman
no strike.
and a young hitter, he will learn that now it's in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, the last 3 innings of this game. He's down by a run, and he's a power hitter. He's got to be able to take 3 good rips at this ball to see if he can even the score. Faking a bunt doesn't do his team any good.
2-1 the count. He pops it up, third base side foul. Dunn is under this one, and they retire Wilkerson to open the 7th. That's an important out for Kevin Shipp and LSU in this 1-run ball game. That leadoff man is kept off the base. Now Chuck Hazard. Hazard has walked in single. In between was called out on strikes. Started the day as the designated hitter and now at first base. It has been 4-3 since the fourth. Hazard takes this one off the plate in. Ball one. He's a man of 1,000 stances.
Really
Lopez says he changes not only from at bat to at bat, but sometimes pitch to pitch.
He's a tango hitter. He keeps those feet moving and those arms moving.
Another strike. And the count is 1-1. Andy Lopez in his second year directing the Florida program. 49-16 coming into play today.
I don't know whether Andy was shaking his head on that pitch or on the call before at home plate. I think he's frustrated at this point.
And the pitch is up. 2-1. Lopez has never lost a College World Series game. 5-0 coming into today's game. The 2-1, and there's a base hit. And a fall in there as Kerner closes. Hazard will make the turn and stop at first. That's his second hit of the day. Gives him 2 for 3 on base for the third time.
Take a look at Ship's delivery to Hazard. The ball is up and he really lifts his hands and gets the bat on an even plane. That's very difficult to do. Fortunately, it was a slider that got away from Ship. And that young man's got good mechanics, good fundamentals.
And John Tamargo. Pitch to him is in there for a strike. Tamargo called out on strikes in the 5th inning on a pitch that appeared to be off the plate. So the Gators, a couple innings running, were at odds with plate umpire Randy Crystal. This one is down. 1 ball and 1 strike on the third called strike of Tamargo in the 5th inning. And the play at the plate in the 6th when Sean Walsh was called out, although Tim Lanier failed to put the tag on him. 1-1 the count. That's wide. 2 balls and a strike. Tamargo, the junior out of Tampa.
And don't be surprised if Florida gets the runner going. They haven't done this in a few innings.
Tamargo took a rip and fouled it back. 2-2. He's had a couple pitches to hit today. Up there with a 2-2 count now.
It's one of those days for Tamargo, Dwayne, where I think he's been off and is guesstimating. He's taken a couple of pitches that he should have swung at and swung at some pitches that he probably shouldn't have. And you have those kind of days as a hitter. And the coach tells you to see it and hit it.
This one is wide. And the count goes to 3-2.
What happens is you start to overthink. You know, there's a guesstimation there, and you start to put the whole equation together, and all of a sudden you're caught thinking instead of swinging.
1 on 1 out. Kevin Shipp in relief of Brett Laxton. And there's a line drive into center field. Kerner closing, and he makes the catch for the out. A sinking line drive that Mike Kerner grabbed. 2 gone. Tamargo making a bid for a base hit, but Kerner wouldn't have any of it.
Kerner really had to track this ball. He wondered whether it would sink or not, but it was hit so hard that it stayed up. Goes down on one knee, almost hurts himself. Makes a good catch.
2 outs with a man at first, and here's the Florida catcher, Eric Castaldo. Castaldo 0 for 3. And look out. That pitch coming a little close. Ball 1.
Castaldo twice has hit the ball to the wall. The last time in right center. The first time in right. It's a good opposite field hitter.
2 balls, no strikes.
Let's go, big man.
Kevin Shipp featuring that breaking ball.
Wind is kicked up from left to right.
And there's a curveball for a strike. 2-1.
We talked about if you get the ball up in the air to right or right center, wind blowing 10 to 15 miles per hour. David Eckstein did that in the first inning and got a home run.
Castaldo with a 2-1 count. This one up. So the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. Castaldo came in hitting .318. Ahead in the count, the 3-1. And he fouls this one up the right side. Out of play, and the count is full. So Hazard will get a few extra steps as he breaks from first with 2 outs and a full count on Castaldo.
Working on
back again.
Working on that doll again. A certain rhythm to that too.
Runner goes, and the 3-2 ground ball. Williams to his right sets himself and throws to make the play at first to retire Castaldo in Florida. No runs, a hit. The Gators lead 1. Jason Williams made the play as we go into the bottom of the 7th. The score, LSU 4 and Florida 3.
And we see Castaldo hit the ball into the hole, and Jason Williams make the infield play of the College World Series. He catches it, plants, turns, and fires, and gets Castaldo by a half a step to end the inning. Excellent play at shortstop by Jason Williams.
So as we go into the bottom of the 7th inning at the College World Series, coming up next at SportsCenter, Bob Lee and Susie Colbert will be tracking these stories. The Albert Bell suspension, the Sonic and the Bulls meet the media, and upsets from the French Open, all coming up on SportsCenter. So Albert Bell indeed draws the suspension.
And we talked about Albert. He did play at LSU for Skip Bertman.
Here's Nathan Dunn, and the pitch is a strike call. Well, home runs and other problems have surrounded Albert Bell this year for the Indians, and last for that matter. A strike to count. Ground ball, that's going to go through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Making the turn, Dunn is aboard with a leadoff single in the 7th.
And that's just what the Gators didn't need, was a leadoff hit by the LSU Tigers.
You know, that's the first hit by any of the top 3 hitters for LSU. Williams, Kerner, and Dunn. Dunn with a base hit here in the 7th. Now here's Eddie Furnace. Dunn back in at first base. Oh, 1-run ball game, 4-3. LSU scored 2 runs in the 4th inning. A strike called on the outside edge. LSU picked up the tying run on a sacrifice fly from Kerner, and then it was Dunn's ground ball to third that plated the go-ahead run, and that's the difference in the game. Now Dunn's at first with Furnace at the plate. A strike to count. Dunn can run as Furnace takes this one down. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Castaldo is knowledgeable of that. These 2 teams have played each other throughout the year. Skip Bertman not beyond hitting and running now, or with Furnace's power letting him swing away.
2-1. That ball rolled behind Castaldo for a moment, but not far enough to give Dunn a chance.
LSU with the right batter up now, left-handed hitting Furnace. Big hole on the right side with Duncan holding him close.
Ball 3 is low. 3-1. Wilkerson working in relief again today. Started the day in right field. Pitched an inning and a third against Florida State to close that victory in the first game played by Florida. He has 3 complete innings under his belt here this afternoon. Sergio Rodriguez worked 3+. Didn't get anybody out in the 4th inning. That's when Wilkerson took over. There's a strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to 3-2. There's the breakdown. Rodriguez, the starter, 4 runs, 3 innings plus, 67 pitches, and Wilkerson now 3 innings plus. He has done at first a full count on Furness.
Wilkerson very effective when he keeps that fastball down against this good hitting Tiger team. Especially against left-handed hitters. He really can run that ball on the outside half of the plate.
And strike 3 called on the outside edge. 3rd strikeout for Wilkerson. First time Furness has gone out on strikes today. He's the first out in the 7th.
We talked about his ability to take that fastball and run it away. This is a great example. Furness, a good hitter, just frozen by a fastball right on the outside, black knee high. Good rotation on that ball, even in slow motion.
Step off and a throw to first. Done back in. Chad Cooley is the hitter. Cooley 1 out of 3 with an infield hit in the 3rd inning. The pitch is upstairs, and that time Wilkerson had done retreating to the base at first when he delivered the pitch.
Wilkerson does a good job of lifting that front knee up and freezing the runner at first base. That's the key. Be consistent on the mound.
A little toss over there.
Steps off. Usually pitchers have 2 or 3 different moves to first. Experience beyond his years, just a freshman.
They're going to first again. Wilkerson working against this high-powered LSU offense.
Wilkerson trying to keep the runner done close to get the double play.
And a fly ball hit to right. Walsh is back at the track, and it's gone. Cooley hits one out. An opposite field home run on a 1-0 pitch. And that makes it 6-3 LSU. The 14th home run this year for Chad Cooley. The ball sometimes explodes off that aluminum bat.
We talked about the styles of Florida and LSU. Florida plays little ball. LSU plays big ball. He accelerates through. He knows that he's hit it well enough with the backspin and the wind. And it's gone.
So Cooley hits a 2-run home run, and that gives LSU a 3-run lead. There's Brad Wilson, the designated hitter, swinging through this one. Strike 1.
And ironically, Wilkerson got only 1 pitch up over the last 3 innings. And it was to Cooley. And he hit it out. But I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Strike 2 to Wilson. Now the leadoff single, the called 3rd strike to Furness, and then the home run by Cooley. 2 more runs home in the 7th for LSU. Off the edge of the plate. 1-2. The Florida bullpen getting busy again.
Why the pressure is so tough on these pitchers at this 50th College World Series. You can pitch so well for so long, make one mistake, and it hurts you.
There's Paul Rigdon.
Want me down?
2-2 the count to Wilson. And a breaking ball skied into right. Walsh is under this one and makes the catch for the second out. 2 gone. And a home run by Cooley, only the second given up by Brad Wilkerson this year. And it pads the Tiger lead. Now Justin Bowles. Bowles has a single and a walk on the day and a run scored. The pitch is outside. He walked on 4 pitches in the 5th inning against Wilkerson. So Wilkerson has yet to throw him a strike today. Now the 1-0 pitch. And there's a drive hit well deep into right center field. That ball is out of here. Bowles, a 1-0 pitch. For Bowles, his 22nd home run this year. A 3-run 7th. And it's now 7-3 LSU.
Take a look at Bowles in his swing. Takes a pitch down at the knees and just separates and lifts. And hits this ball very well. Hits it about 390, 395. Cooley, the other home run hitter, giving him a squeeze. Now they're 4 runs ahead.
Now the Tiger offense exploding in the 7th. Tim Lanier is due. And time called as Gary Henderson heads toward the mound. A 3-run 7th on the strength of a 2-run homer by Chad Cooley, and 1 out later a solo home run by Justin Bowles, and there was little doubt when Bowles hit that 1-0 pitch. So it's 7-3, and Florida is going to make a pitching change. It's going to be the right-hander Rigdon out of the Gator bullpen. We'll be back following this. 7-3 LSU. Exploded for 3 additional runs in the 7th inning. And as we take a look at the Nike storyline, Florida opened with a run in the 1st and then 2 runs in the 2nd inning. The LSU defense contributing to that problem. Wilkerson giving up a couple of home runs today. Coming in relief, he had given up just 1 home run all year. The LSU bottom of the order, 4 for 6 the last 2 hitters, accounting for a couple of runs batted in. Brett Laxton, the starter for LSU, lasting 5 1/3, giving up 1 earned run on 6 hits before giving way to Kevin Shipp. And so the pitching change here. And Paul Rigdon will take over, becoming the 3rd pitcher of the day. And his first pitch to Tim Lanier is in there for a strike. So Wilkerson goes back to right field here in the 7th inning. And Rick Eckstein will enter the game and take over at 3rd. The pitch is down. 1-1. 2 outs here with the bases empty in the 7th. Lanier's had himself a good series. 2 extra base hits today. 2 balls and a strike. 7 runs, 10 hits by LSU. Florida, 3 runs, 7 hits. And the pitch is down. 3-1. There's Wilkerson back in right field. And down at third base, Rick Eckstein. A strike call. So it's now 3-2.
We talked about Lanier and what a great opening 2 games of this series he's had. It's been a catalyst today, along with Warren Morris, as we noted in the bottom half of the order. And finally, with Cooley and Bowles hitting home runs, they've broken the game open with power.
And the one thing Andy Lopez wanted to stay away from was a contest of power. He didn't want to get into a slugfest. Now finds himself down 7-3 with 2 shots left.
But to his credit, he stayed close with some good heads-up strategic Gator baseball, hitting and running, bunting, taking the extra base, capitalizing on errors. But after a while, power will catch up with him.
Warren Morris takes a strike. Morris with a couple hits and a run batted in. Rigdon's moved to first. Lanier is back in. A little technical adjustment there in the stands. There's a foul ball. The count is 0-2. And there we go. It's baseball, and you're an American.
What it's all about. Kids and families and the national pastime and young college men.
This one is wide. So the count is a ball and 2 strikes. I kept looking for Abraham Lincoln somewhere in the stands with that slogan. Sports Center coming up next. And following our game, we've got a couple innings left. The 1-2 and a pop fly back into short left center. Chisholm coming in. He makes the grab to retire the side. 3-run score for LSU on 2 home runs in the inning. We're headed into the 8th. The Tigers have taken a 7-3 lead over the Florida Gators. Seven to 3, LSU leading Florida as our game swings into the 8th inning. Send a little message along here. And as we get set to head into the 8th, let's go down to Larry Conley for this story.
Well, thanks, Dwayne. I'm standing in front of the Florida dugout right here. You take a look down through here. One of the things that's a tradition at the College World Series is most of the teams stand on the top of the dugout and they turn their caps around. Andy Lopez says, we're not going to do that here. This is a major league setup, and we're going to act like major leaguers. You can see his guys sitting down and paying attention to what's going on. A little change in tradition.
The 8th inning underway. Rick Eckstein leading off and taking the first pitch in there for a strike. This one off the plate, and the count is 1-1. On the mound, Kevin Shipp in relief of Brett Laxton for LSU. And the pitch is down. And the count goes to 2-1. The Tigers have made a defensive change at first base as Eckstein hits for the first time in this game. The count is 2-1. Eckstein just taking over at third in the bottom of the 7th. He swings to this one, and the count goes to 2-2.
Eckstein with not a lot of at-bats this year for the Gators.
There's Jeremy Moore now at first.
Eckstein, a young player.
And a liner into left. That's Cooley, and that ball's going to drop in there for a base hit. So Eckstein opens the 8th with a single. And I'll tell you, the way this College World Series has gone, 2 innings is a long time, even with a 7-3 deficit.
6 outs, plenty of time for these Gators who can manufacture runs. Takes them longer, takes more effort.
This is Chris Chisholm. Gators have had men on base in every inning, but they've left 9 on and have 3 runs. The pitch is down, blocked by Tim Lanier.
Dwayne, very impressed with Chisholm. He handles the bat very well, knows the strike zone, hits the ball where it's pitched. Good hitter.
There's a strike call. The count goes to 1-1. There's a fly ball headed toward left center field, and that's going to drop in there for a base hit. Eckstein will stop at second base. So Eckstein and Chisholm have opened the 8th with base hits. And we talked about the comeback capability the other night of Alabama and what they were able to do in the first game. And of course, Louisiana State saw Wichita State come roaring back. LSU hung on to win that one. Florida has 25 come from behind wins this year of their 49 total. So with 2 men on, nobody out, Brian Ogle's going to be the hitter. Ship goes to work and throws a strike.
Andy Lopez has made believers in this Florida program for these young men. He's taught them that you can never give up. Just find a way to come back.
And the LSU bullpen is going to go to work. The bunt attempt goes foul, and the count is 0-2.
Lopez, realizing he's got 2 innings, is willing to sacrifice to get the runners in scoring position. Thinking to himself, well, 2 innings to go, 2 runs this inning, 2 innings and 2 runs.
That's Joey Painich, who's been up most of the day, and Patrick Coogan is now up to join him. Painich getting a lot of work in along the sideline today in that bullpen. Way in a minute. Yes, he has. Ogle strikes out for the first out here in the 8th.
Comes back with a good tight slider. The outside part of the plate.
That's the first out of the 8th. The Gators are 1 out of 10 with men in scoring position in this game today. Here's David Eckstein. He opened the game with a home run. Leans away from this one for a ball.
And he's been right on each pitch today. He, like Lanier, in a good zone.
That's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Lopez having his hitters take a strike until the tying run is at the plate.
The ground ball, and it's through to the left of Dunn, and the bases are going to be loaded. They are loaded. Eckstein aboard again. The hits are even now at 10 apiece. And with Rigdon coming up, Florida will go to the bench.
And this is a hard hit ball that kicks up and goes by Dunn, loading the bases.
So Andy Lopez sending Octavio Medina to the plate as a pinch hitter, and that brings Skip Berkman out. So the bases are loaded, 1 out, and the Gators have the tying run at the plate. So Rigdon will be lifted. He was in the 2nd spot in the Florida order, and Medina will pinch hit for it. And the Florida bullpen is busy. It's Jacob Roll on the left side of your screen, and on the right side is Josh Fogg. And Medina is on the pinch hit for Andy Lopez and the Gators. It's Medina's birthday today.
And
we know we got a big birthday from Wilkerson the other day.
That's right. We know it can happen on birthdays for big hitters, and Medina's got good power.
And the breaking ball is in there for a strike.
Chip starts him out with a breaking ball, which is smart. Usually a pinch hitter looks for a fastball.
There's Brad Wilkerson on deck. He was the birthday boy Saturday. Ground ball is short. Williams fouls the ball. Still throws to first. Out there as a run scores. He had a problem coming up with that one. He had a potential double play in front of him. Got one out. Rick Eckstein scores to make it 7-4.
Jason Williams has twice now had troubles with ground balls that seem to handcuff him. This ball comes up. He keeps it in front of him, puts the glove on it, and gets him at first base. He stayed with him and barely got him. Good play by Williams, but he could have, with a clean catch, gotten the runner at second base at least.
So a run home to make it 7-4. 2 outs. And here's Brad Wilkerson. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Chisholm at third and David Eckstein, the runner, at second. Wilkerson and Shipp the matchup. Shipp misses outside. 1-1.
With Wilkerson and Hazard, these are the big ball players for the Florida Gators. These are the two fellas that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. This is a good matchup for Wilkerson. Shipp, being right-handed, has got to come into him.
And there's a strike call. Wilkerson brought him back once before here on Saturday. He's behind in the count now. A ball and 2 strikes. 2 men in scoring position.
Shipp will pitch him away.
And he misses up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
One of the virtues of Wilkerson is his ability to know the strike zone. He's taken a number of walks this year.
Now the 2-2. And the breaking ball is a strike. Wilkerson out on strikes to retire the side. The Gators settle for 1 run. They leave 2. The strikeout of Wilkerson by Shipp ends it. 7-4 as we head into the bottom of the 8th. LSU leading Florida 7-4. Florida comes back with pitcher number 4 of the afternoon, Jacob Roll. Rigdon worked a third of an inning, gave up 1 walk, and was lifted for the pinch hitter. Jacob Roll follows Rodriguez, Wilkerson, and Rigdon. 14th appearance, a win and a loss. The earned run average better than 6. He finds himself in a big spot here.
Jacob Roll with a good fastball, but a great curve. He also has a changeup, but the curveball is the one Andy Lopez says is just a great curve, the best he's ever seen in college baseball.
And it's his job to keep LSU in check. Jason Williams leading off. And the pitch is a ball. A little bit of housekeeping here. They have changed the base hit originally given to David Eckstein and charge done with an error in the top of the inning on a fairly sharply hit ball that got through the left side. This one down. 2 balls and no strikes to count. So Florida picked up a run on 2 hits. And LSU charged with an error. The 5th error of the day charged to the Tigers. Three and all the count on Williams.
You usually don't have a lead of 3 runs when you make 5 errors in a day. But LSU has spotted them. They made 3 in the first couple of innings.
There's a strike. It's 3-1. Florida leaving 2 men in scoring position in the 8th. There is ball 4. Williams draws the walk for the 2nd time today. So he's aboard to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. A reminder, Sports Center is coming up next immediately following our game. So stay with us for that. Bob Lee and Susie Colbert will be updating a number of stories, including the Albert Bell suspension. Here's the center fielder for LSU, Mike Kerner. Kerner picked up a run batted in with a sacrifice fly to left in the 4th inning. back in at first.
Kerner made a great defensive play in the 7th inning for the Tigers. He's been a pesky hitter so far for them in this College World Series.
And there's a breaking ball over for a strike.
This is where, if you're an aggressive team, you try to add another run or two in this inning and not sit on a 3-run lead like LSU has at this point. You've got to continue to be aggressive.
Into the dirt. There goes the runner. Castaldo kept the ball in front of him, but Williams alertly advances. Castaldo did about everything he could do.
Castaldo gets tested again on this curveball. Good tight curveball that bounces at about 58 feet. And ricochets too far in front to get the runner advancing to second.
It's a wild pitch, charge to roll. This one outside. And the count is 2-1.
Roll out of Tampa, Florida, Chamberlain High School, my old alma mater, along with Kaufman and Tamargo, 3 Gators from the same school in Tampa.
There's a well-hit ball down the right field line. Is it fair? It is fair. And a home run from Mike Kerner. Kerner got it just fair for a 2-run home run. And that will make it a 9-4 ball game. The 12th home run of the year for Kerner. 3 home runs in the last 2 innings for LSU.
Let's take a look at this pitch. Fastball up, not much on it. And he just accelerated through that ball and kept it fair. Gives it the fair sign, tags the base. Pretty happy with himself right there. Did a good job of hitting.
So 2 more runs for LSU. Nathan Dunn taking a strike on the first pitch from Roll. Swings through this one. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, when Skip Bertman told us he had some pop, he was right about Kerner. He's got good speed.
That's 130 home runs hit by LSU this year. A little tap, that's going to be foul. Holding the count at 2 strikes.
It's got to be frustrating for the Florida Gators because they battled back last inning and picked up a run, got within 3, and now they're 5 runs behind. 4 or less in your 1 swing from being tied with a grand slam. Now going to need a lot more work to get back in this game.
A ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out as we play in the bottom of the 8th. 2 runs home. Nathan Dunn, the hitter, a ball, 2 strikes the count. Jeremy Moore will be next.
Wayne, one final thought on Kerner's home run. He did a good job of keeping that ball fair.
Yeah.
A ball that far inside usually end up hooking it. Did a very good job of keeping it fair, accelerating his hands and hitting the head on the ball.
Some happy LSU Tigers right there. There's a drive hit back to left. Ogle is there to make the catch for the out. So a liner out to left. Dunn is retired. And now Jeremy Moore will get a chance to swing the bat. Moore entered the game as a defensive replacement in the top of this inning. Moore at .298 average with 6 home runs. And the pitch is upstairs, ball 1.
And a big man. Gives it a Ted Kluszewski look up there.
A strike on the corner. 1-1. LSU's out hit Florida 11-9, and they have a 9-4 lead. Too close, and the count is 2-1.
Like a player who wears his pants high, don't you?
Show a lot of sock, a lot of color.
They told us they used to be stockings players wore, and now we see them.
The count is 3-1.
It's a little bit like the Bambino up there, doesn't it? Yeah. Remember the Babe used to wear those pants high? You see the socks? A little bit of a girth through the equator there.
In the late stages of his career. And there is ball 4. So Moore draws the walk. And there's a new interpretation of the gold standard by LSU. They've worn these new gold jerseys for the 5th time in the NCAA tournament. They debuted in Austin, or in the regional, when they beat Austin P 9-3. And they were also wearing them when they had that big inning against Georgia Tech and won 29-13 in that game. So they've scored lots of runs in these gold jerseys. Chad Cooley, the hitter now. Nine to 4. 9 runs, 11 hits today. Cooley homered in the 7th. Swings and misses, and the backswing. Thank goodness for that helmet worn by Eric Castaldo. He caught a little of the backswing there from Cooley.
You hate to see the scrapes on the helmets. That's why these catchers wear the helmet. See, it hits him right on the top. We've seen this happen 3 times now in this College World Series, where batters have swung and hit the helmet of the catcher.
1 strike to count to Cooley. Jacob Roll on the mound. This one in the dirt, but no attempt to advance by Moore over at first base. Ball rolling away from Castaldo, but Moore decides with this big lead to play it safe over there.
Now, why didn't I think he was going to advance on that? That man is going to take him 1 base at a time. But he can also hit.
Yeah, and if you hit him far enough, you don't have to steal bases.
He can hit.
1 and 2, snap throw to first, and he's back in there. One out in the bottom of the 8th. Down again. Squares the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Florida scored the first 3 runs of this game. A run in the first on a home run by David Eckstein. A couple unearned runs in the second. But LSU started to come back. 2 runs in the second. 2 more in the fourth to grab the lead. And they've padded that lead a bit. It's a foul ball up the right side. 3 runs in the 7th inning. Florida got back 1 of those runs in the 8th. But 2 more LSU runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, coming on Mike Kerner's home run down the right field line. Now with 1 out, Moore has walked. And the count to Chad Cooley stands at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Down to third. Eckstein to Eckstein 1, and over to Hazard for 2. Around the horn it goes. So we're headed into the 9th inning with the score 9-4 LSU. Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. Our College World Series coverage continues as Chuck Hazard opens the 9th for Florida, and the first pitch from Kevin Shipp is in there for a strike.
And we haven't mentioned Kevin Shipp's performance, but he's done an exceptional job over the last 3 innings. He let up 1 run last inning, but has been very solid for the Tigers.
In relief of Brett Laxton, who worked 5 1/3. 2 strikes to count.
Shipp not overpowering, but has spotted his pitches.
And I'll tell you, he made a great pitch to Brad Wilkerson to end the 8th inning.
Best curveball of the World Series to this point. Just froze Wilkerson. Wilkerson looking outside, and that curveball just right over his knees, right over the plate.
The 0-2. Low and outside, a ball and 2 strikes. And we've seen a couple variations of that breaking ball from Shipp, and that good hard one. An outstanding pitch for the LSU right-hander.
That was the good curve. He's thrown a lot of sliders. He'll mix in that 12-6 curveball, and that seems to confuse the Gator hitters. He sets him up for it.
And Hazard waves through this one. It's the 4th strikeout for Kevin Shipp in relief of Laxton. First out in the 9th inning. A reminder coming up following our game. Sports Center. And then later, Wichita State will take on Florida State in the elimination round. That game due to start approximately 45 minutes following the conclusion of our game. John Tamargo, the shortstop, looking at a strike. Tamargo, nothing of 4 on the day. And a chopper headed for second. Morris there, and the throw in time to Jeremy Moore at first base for the 2nd out. 2 up, 2 down here in the 9th.
Well, Dwayne, I think today is a prime example of how big ball will beat little ball here at the College World Series. Florida started out with 3 runs in the first 2 innings, manufactured those 3 runs, and then gradually LSU got into the game, started hitting the ball harder and harder, and then the 3 home runs really put the game away in the last 3 innings.
Here's Eric Castaldo, and the pitch to him is low for a ball. Castaldo, the catcher. He had a nice play made on him back in the 7th inning by the shortstop Jason Williams. And the strike. So the count is 1-1.
Brett Laxton gave the Tigers 5 good innings. Not the same as the 16 strikeout performance of 3 years ago, but timely pitching for a team that now will be in the driver's seat of this bracket.
2 balls and a strike to count. Shipp trying to save this one for Laxton. It would be the 8th win for Laxton this year. The count is now 3-1. Shipp came on to close out the win over Wichita State for the first LSU victory, and now walks Castaldo. That's the first walk he's given up in relief of Laxton. And now the 3rd baseman, Rick Eckstein, who singled back in the 8th inning in his only at bat in the game so far. Eckstein will bat.
Shipp has a couple of tough hitters to face now, good contact hitters.
And the pitch is upstairs. Laxton and Shipp, the pitchers. This one is down. 2 balls and no strikes. Florida down to its final out. And a strike. 2 balls and a strike. LSU on the verge of its 50th win. Skip Bertman with 625 wins in 13 years. There's a ground ball headed to short. This will do it. Williams with the toss to Morris, and this game is over. So the LSU Tigers have beaten the Florida Gators here in Omaha. The final score is LSU 9 and Florida 4. Sports Center is next. Then it's sudden death for Wichita State or Florida State in the second elimination game of this year's College World Series. Now for Steve Garvey and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dwayne Stats saying so long for now from Omaha. The final, LSU 9 and Florida 4.